webcam's working, and it's kind of a little bit funky at the moment. Hopefully,
it's really crackly and laggy.
You said it's okay now, though.
Oh, good. Okay,
I think.
Cool. Now I have to. Good. Don't have to clip it now.
Yeah, let's just hope it's
all
good.
I don't know. Excellent. All right then. So for anyone coming into YouTube, we start now.
Yeah. And
be the
welcome everybody to the Asylum episode 60.
61.
Yeah, 61. You've just missed a whole episode.
Yeah. So yeah, and so when we were left, I would say Miz and I were both left deeply deeply frustrated, more with the fact that the state of the play for me was just like, we're talking years of playing this game and it's still like so heavily bugged, and you just kind of, there's so many simple things that still seem to not be working properly. The ability to team up really easily seemed to be better, but then what they had done really well was they'd done this new thing where you can jump to each other, which was really cool, and I was like, yes, that's awesome, what a wicked thing. I was like, finally, woo, we can jump to our friends, which was great. But then when you can't even fly in the same ship together, and you can't even let your friend fly your ship because it destroys the HUD and you can't fly, I'm like, no, bummer, man. It's like literally polar opposites. So we were left frustrated, not giving up, but just, oh man. And then we had like people telling us like, oh, what are you talking about? I played for 6 hours the other day, or I played for like 4 hours and I had no issues. And you're just kind of going, well, what are we doing wrong? You know what I mean? Like, what were we doing wrong? And I think the long and short of it is that, one, I think we clearly should never let your friend fly the ship. Two,
or just don't let me touch the ship.
Two, you seem to have to fly. A lot of people I know, streamers anyway, they fly solo. They do fuck all, literally, as in like actual missions. They just do their own shit, pick up a little bit of a mission here and there, maybe one or two things that they do know that works. Most of the time, though, I think it seems to be, from what I've seen, is they're either for science, love your binary, but you're an example. What I would say is like, you're just creating their own stuff. They're not actually doing the missions because when we were trying to do them, nothing was working. And I went on the Reddit today and I saw, because it's a free fly weekend, and there's just like, there's not thousands, but there's a good chunk of people saying this is buggy, this isn't working, a new player, there's the logical ones, the people who are rational and explaining the experience. And then obviously you have the just straight up haters. I think you've obviously they hated the game or whatever, and they want a reason to hate on it even more, and they just start spouting like, oh, it's garbage, and I'm like, no, dude, like, just tell us what was wrong.
Yeah.
And and then you have the lovers as well. You have the people who come in and said, oh, I had a wonderful time, it was great, and it was so beautiful, and the graphics are amazing, and all that stuff. So it's a real mix.
I look at it this way now that we talked to several developers on BritisonCon the other week, or is it almost 2 weeks ago? I don't know. Time goes fast. But basically, what they all said, and even Brian Chambers said it in the interview live, we reached a limit, and that means they can't put any more major shit into it, like microtech or whatever. So that means
how convenient, don't you think, Bok? Though it's like, oh yeah, guys, we've everything's not working very well. Yeah, we've reached the limit. You know what I mean? It's like, we can't go any further.
They can't go further with putting in big stuff until they have the server meshing in.
They said that
that's the limit. But the good thing about that is, and that's what I understood from what's his name? The bald one with the glasses. Luke Perry.
Yeah.
They're trying to optimize, polish the shit out of the existing stuff we are having issues with right now. So maybe even polishing and adding the what is it? The team play, shared missions, not buggy if you play in team. What are you laughing at? Not about the Forbes, right?
No, sorry, carry on.
But no, I have my high hopes up to that they actually make it a more pleasurable flight experience, gameplay experience, when they finally reach the point that they are going to implement that server meshing in, because that's the point where they can put in the other stuff afterwards. Does that make any sense? No.
No, it is.
So-
It's not that.
Totally,
I
it's
know
totally fine.
Brian said
It makes
about
me
it
happy.
being an issue before on the interview, but there was a dev. I can't remember who it was, but someone did say it before that they're basically. Well, I can't remember who. Someone told me anyway that said they were reaching limits, and I think it was Luke Presley actually that said it to somebody else. And it's just that obviously because you're putting so much. But this is the same reason why, because people asked, are we going to get an increased server load? And that's part of the reason we can't get an increased server load at the moment, because there's just not enough. Well, there's just too much stuff being loaded. Basically, it just hit your FPS too much and everything. So, basically, we're stuck with what we've got until the server mesh in and the server OCS comes in, and then hopefully that will probably not be the magic bullet that fixes everything, but hopefully it will come a long way to them adding. I mean, because that was one of the things I think we talked about last week, and it's a little bit worrying if that's all they've got. If they've already reached the limit of the stuff that they can put in, when we've only got.
I'll be honest. If you look at what we have in right now, there's nothing to be ashamed of, because it's a whole damn lot that's in there right now. Don't get that wrong. It's like a whole bunch of content running on those servers.
I mean, you could
without the
whole bunch of
dynamically
nothing.
switching.
It's a whole. You could argue equally. So it's a whole. I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here, guys. Okay, just before everyone goes, oh, Matt, this nigga's salty fucking train. I'm just playing that person. You could argue there's a whole lot of nothing that works. Do you know what I mean? You could say it's all just a big broken mess of bits of bugs and junky bits of this and junky bits of that. The one thing that was working really well before doesn't even work very well now either. It's broken as hell. So you could argue and say, what's the point of all these bits of broken stuff? And you then you're saying to us at the end of the day, you're saying, oh, guess what? Oh, server meshing is going to be the golden ticket in a year's time or 6 months' time or 8 months' time. And that's going to make everything amazing. Just so happens we can't now add anything else in whilst we focus on Squadron 42. Lower expectations. I mean, I'm playing that. I am genuinely playing that person. But, you could argue that, it seems very convenient. All of a sudden, it's like we've hit a roadblock, a ceiling block, and we've barely put anything in, that works. We need more money. Give us another $200 million so we can, you could
buy more servers.
You could. Exactly. The very critical person, the very kind of like looking at it in the very negative way, could easily argue like this seems incredibly convenient. All of a sudden, we've reached a ceiling cap, which is, let's be honest, they want to put in eventually 100 systems into it, and now you're telling me that suddenly server meshing is going to enable you to put then suddenly 99 more fucking places, and you can only do one? Are you serious? Like, is that genuinely the truth? Is the ceiling, the minute you put server meshing in, is suddenly going to open up and you're going to have the ability to do all of that and 1,000 players and 2,000 players? Are we do we really buy into that, or are we wishfully thinking? I'm playing that person here.
That's what I'm saying. That's the worrying thing, isn't it? Is that once they add the server meshing, is that magically going to give you so much more bandwidth? Maybe it will. Maybe it means they can chuck as many servers as they want, add it, so that they all cross over and it all shares it. Maybe it will. But yeah, otherwise it's like
what it has to do. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, but it's like so it's just how many servers did they chuck at it? I suppose.
The things from what we heard, they're cooperating probably with Amazon, because it's their tech underneath, and Amazon is trying to get it working as well with their new world game, which is doing pretty good right now. But I haven't seen any tech docs about how they are running it or on how much.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, we've got some people in here in theory saying that is what in theory it should do. Got a couple of people saying that's in theory what it should do. So, I'm hopeful. Like, look, I'm with you on this. I mean, I'm playing that person. I'm asking those questions. I'm playing that thing. I'm in the camp of, more technology is good. We're going to generally, it's going to improve things. Server meshing is definitely needed. We if it's kind of a weird one. It's like, if server meshing enables you to have loads of servers, wouldn't that increase the running costs of Star Citizen exponentially in some ways, and in other ways bring it down, because they only dial it up when you need something and they bring it down when you don't? But then here's the question though, is like, you need to have the gears in the first place. Think of it like an automatic, like the Audi. You have to have 6 gears available.
Yes, I
Do you know what I mean?
see
So
you, and no, I
to be able
don't
to have
care.
it ready and going in those automatic shifts between 1 and 2 to go up and down. That's the way I've always envisioned the way server meshing is. So you have to be paying for the 6 slots though, effectively. So what if Star Citizen needs more than that? But then
you pay by second or minute. I don't know how far Amazon AWS
I was
goes,
curious.
but if there's a big battle going on and there's this massive ship battle all in one sector, and the servers aren't going to handle that, so automatically extra servers will be built besides that. So
Yeah.
that's becoming that sector. It's getting more resources. Now, for those extra servers spooling up, that's going to cost you a bit extra for that particular time that you are running that battle in that sector. When people leave that sector, those servers can be shut down or otherwise put out of order, and you will not spend any money on that. It's all dynamically.
Okay.
So yes, it can cost them a lot, but I don't know. Maybe they are renting complete servers instead of little virtual machines and are spending thousands and thousands on on all those physical servers. I don't know.
I don't know. It'd be an interesting question, though, wouldn't it? It'd be really. If someone actually asked a smart question for once at one of these panels, that would be quite a good one to ask, wouldn't it? Really.
What, instead of where's the teddy bear and how do I get one?
Yeah, exactly. That would be kind of a really smart and intelligent question to ask. Okay, thank you. Like, this chat's going ballistic, screaming at me. You could go up and down. I know you can go up and down servers. I'm just curious. I'm just kind of curious. And again, not everyone knows this stuff. I certainly don't know much about it. I know a little bit, but it is interesting. And like I said, I just, everyone's saying, a few people here saying that it will open up the ceiling and suddenly, like, you're able to go anywhere with it, which is exciting for sure. I've heard a lot of this kind of talk from, OCS was like, felt like it was going to be a massive, and bind culling was going to be a massive thing. And I honestly thought we would probably, before even server meshing would come in, we'd probably have another system or two. So it seems now they're saying that they've already filled up this system and they have to have server meshing. It seems kind of a bit like, oh, okay.
I disagree a little bit with that. I mean, OCS was a major thing. I mean, realistically, our ping and our FPS has gone so much better since we've had it. There's still the server-side OCS, which will, again, obviously help things dramatically as well. Now, they could add another system because that could even be done like on a separate server. But the thing is, it's what they've been doing is they keep implementing stuff into the server, the one system we've got. So it's like that system is getting bigger and bigger. There's stuff that's in that system that shouldn't necessarily be in there in the first place. It just makes more sense to have a single system as a testing ground than to keep sending people for like adding more systems and spreading people up even further, especially when your player cap's smaller as well. They get to get better test data by sticking us all on the same server, and all the things they want to add in, the mechanics and all that, it's so much easier to add it onto the one. And I think that's the way going forward. I don't think we're going to see another system for a while. I think we're going to see all the mechanics and everything else be added before we start seeing other systems to jump to. I just don't think it's kind of what they've got in mind. It's going to be too. It's just like I said, until they can up the player count, until they can get everything else sort of working, just adding another system for the sake of it's not really going to help them in any way in kind of gathering data. Yeah, it makes it more fun for us to play because we can kind of jump across and look for different systems. But from their point of view, like this goes back to a little bit of are we testing it or are we playing it? And they want us to test it more than anything. So keeping us built into one system allows them to get much better test feedback. I've just gone round in circles about 10 times, but it's, that thing.
Yeah. So without server meshing, no Star Citizen, basically.
Pretty much.
No.
Yeah.
That's it.
No grand dream of Star Citizen.
Not necessarily no Star Citizen, just not the big dream of thousands of people all in the same area. This huge, massive open world game.
That's how I look at Star Citizen.
Okay.
Until that's not implemented yet,
it's just an arena game.
well, on a smaller scale, and we want scale, right? We want to fly to different systems for days on end in real time.
You won't have a choice. You won't have a choice.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god. Oh man.
No, but this technique, it will be more known, more used by other games in a very short time as well. It's just the next big thing. Cloud, blah blah blah.
But it's like a lot of technology, isn't it? It all sort of progresses, and Star Citizen, while maybe one of the first games that wanted to push everything to this limit, it's certainly not the last game. Like we've seen, Dual Universe is trying to do it. Obviously, Amazon's got their game that they're trying to do it. So the more people that kind of want to do this as well, like at the end of the day, you've got MMOs which have already been running for ages with loads of people and loads of content, but they're expanse of their game worlds have been pretty small, or it's had to be divided up with loading scenes and things like that. Whereas obviously the future and everything grows, they want to get rid of the loading scenes, they want to increase the land mass, they want to increase planets and everything else. And so it's a natural progression where MMOs want to go, and I think it's just something that we will eventually see. And like anything, the more people that want it, the more time and money is invested in it, not just by Star Citizen, but by Amazon and other games companies, because they all want the same technology at the end of the day. And that's generally what drives most production forward, is by having competition, more people wanting it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just constantly tinkering with settings at the moment, trying to get shit to work. It's like doing my head in.
Your webcam looks fine now, Miserable.
I think your webcam looks as good as ours.
Yeah.
Now you look just as good as us. I think we're all looking sharp.
Yeah, the chat on stream is not kind of coming up, and I keep adding the chat box, and it's not liking it. And when we tested it the other day, it was working fine. Today, it's just having a dump. But yeah, don't mind me. I'm still here, still working on it.
I mean, it's new.
And how's audio levels? Because I can't hear it. So guys in chat, if we all sound, let us know if we're all roughly the same sort of volume and everything else.
I think they would have said by now.
No, they don't. They're sneaky chat. They like to make you suffer and wait till you put it on YouTube.
If Toby's in there,
what's wrong with your audio, guys? What's wrong with you?
Toby will have. We already had Vikings saying about popping, and that seems to be better now-ish, I think. So it sounds good. Audio's good. Everyone's tick tick. Audio good. Lovely.
Whoop, whoop.
Lovely.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
So, because I want to get this out of the way with a little bit early, because it's a pointless thing, but I just want to get out of the way with Forbes. Let's just get the Forbes bit out of the way with. Trash. Pointless.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
Yeah.
Became immediately upon a waste of time when they started implementing personal content. I don't know about anybody else, but I read the title was wrong. 300 million. I was like, what the fuck is this person smoking? That was my first comment, literally on my set. And then I read more and I was like, then they started quoting dates of 2000, ancient dates. And I was like, clearly this person hasn't been playing this game for a while. And it's like, seems to be on the Derek Shark kind of like road trip here. And I was like, literally. And then I read on, and then I got bored, because I was just like, I'm really bored of this, because it's just so much wrong and unbacked up stuff. Then they said something interesting about mismanagement. And I was like, that is an interesting topic of conversation. I was like, your whole article, in my opinion, should have been just about, is Star Citizen being mismanaged? How long is it take? How long is a good time to make a game? What are the fun situation? That would have been a far more interesting and kept it pretty neat and short article, and just talking about, and maybe had a few interviews with people who work there now. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe one or two people maybe left in the last 2 years.
The reason that's not the article is because they don't have any evidence on that. They don't actually have evidence of mismanagement. So you can't. All it is speculation. Is it being mismanaged? That's
exactly
as good as it can get, because they have no. It's not like they've got an inside person feeding. I mean, Forbes isn't it meant to be more about the people than the projects they were? I don't fucking know. Who cares? Reality is it was a waste of time, and then all it's done is it's just spawned like loads of other articles of people writing about articles which they do no research for. So it's just turned into a lovely, massive clickbait mess. Like, I look on my phone and I have all these about every single one of these game magazines that slagged Star Citizen off in the past haven't even bothered doing any of their own articles. They've literally just commented on the Forbes article and put big titles so that you clickbait it. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Well, what was the title called? Was 300 million funding disaster or something like that? I was like, funding disaster? Fuck, if I got 220 million in funding, that's not really a disaster, is it?
I know. Actually, I mean, it was literally, it's just like, it was one of those, like, I know Kyle said earlier, like she was saying to Jay, and like, you know, anyone that knows anything about Star Citizen, even as we following it for a year, or you know, you follow it as long as us, you just be going, you're talking all the wrong topics of conversation. This is not a new article. There is nothing new here for us. You know, we've got so many ways to counter everything you said is trash, pretty much. I'd say 99% trash. And then it went into solicitation of talking about how people like bring relationships. I was like, dude,
Yeah, that was.
most marriages end up the way they're started. You know what I mean? With a, you know, that's literally what happened. They just did it first and got out of the way with with a restraining order. I swear to God, that's like they just did it backwards. Like, who cares? That's a great story to tell.
Madness's wife's got about 20 restraining orders
she has.
at the moment.
She's out there with a knife, ready to slash me open.
Well, hopefully in the kitchen.
Exactly. No,
get back into the kitchen.
You want to be careful. She's feisty. This one, I tell you.
No, literally. That's a great story to tell your kids. That's a funny story. Like when you tell you, like, say, how did your mom and dad? Oh, my dad actually, you know, like you put a restraining order on her. You know, like how did you actually meet? You know, you asked your parents. You'd be like, actually, I hated him. I thought she was crazy. You know, all that stuff. That's funny in the context of that. It's funny, but then they try and pull this into like discrediting a character and all the rest of it. As soon as that shit went down, I was like, this is clickbait trash. I'm done. And I didn't want anything else to do with it. And I saw loads of other people talking about it, and I saw these links that you said, and I was just like. I definitely think CIG guys, like, just do what they're doing, just let it wash over, because I think it's absolute. It's got like they're like should be like Teflon to this. This shit it's got nothing to stick to and should go. Unfortunately, a few other people keep reciting it, and the annoying thing is it's tarnishing to people who maybe don't know much about the game. They're like coming in and being like, "Hey, what's all this shit about Forbes?" Because they obviously see Forbes as like some sort of legitimate kind of web thing, and like, you know, they do, you know, legitimate things. Well, I'm just going to give you a bit about Forbes, okay? Just to kind of break this down. So the Forbes article is written, in 2014, the Hong Kong-based investor group called Integrated Well Media Investments, IWM, purchased a majority stake in Forbes Media. Forbes' business model consists of paid contributor network making money per article based on traffic benchmarks to find a target audience. Be ruthless, cash in.
So there you go. So
Forbes is trash, basically.
Just like any of the other gaming, as someone said, the gaming magazines that are online at the moment, they just get paid per traffic to article, make it clickbaity. I mean, YouTube's no different. Look at loads. There's so many YouTube videos, and the titles are clickbait. They get people to go on it and watch the video. And realistically, it's funny because in some ways, that we kind of joke and moan about, like, say, You Madness being salty and everything. And generally, people do come to Twitch for a more positive stream, shall we say, rather than, I mean, there's some people that like the moany, whingy streams, but mostly the ones that are popular, they're more positive. Yeah. YouTube is kind of, it seems to me almost the opposite. The more moany and bitchy the fucking video is, the more clicks and views it seems to get. I mean, it varies obviously, and it depends on game and shit. But it's these news articles; they're just getting their clicks and shits out of basically making clickbait titles, getting people to click on them, and then it looks popular, and then they make money from it. Because then sponsorships put adverts on their web page; they get paid by the adverts. It's just a cycle of crap, basically.
Yeah, I think, and the thing is like, I don't know about you guys. Most, like, we all talk about it, is most of the channels that you kind of go back to enjoy isn't, you know, super
kind of like down. You know what I mean? You do go like, you know, like same with YouTube and stuff. I got a couple people who I love. B for Build is one of my favorite YouTube guys. He builds cars and he's super positive and upbeat all the time, and you know, because he's doing what he loves, and that's what I like. That's what I get my jollies off of. Like Adam Savage, you know, from Tested and stuff. All those guys are just super nerds building shit and having a great time, and I love all that stuff, you know. And you know, when I'm playing Star Citizen and Star Citizen is working really well, I am the happiest. If anyone remembers back in the day when I first was streaming Star Citizen, I was having a blast. It's only when they broke what I love that I don't like
different person by then.
I was a very different person back then.
And but it's not like, but it's not. Should I say it's a different person? I don't say I've always maintained that I try and say it as fresh as I feel it, and I'm always happy to be corrected. And I like for example, with 3.5, I went away, and I'll talk about it in a bit. With Dark Laws in here, we did some testing the other day about aim assist, and I was like, you know what, I need to kind of go in and test this shit, you know. And so I did. I flew it. I've got
I flew in a little bit. We did a little test with the Buccaneer versus the 600. I wanted to see what the aim assist was all about, and we'll talk about it in a bit. And yeah, it was good. I wasn't. It was positive. No, I don't want to talk about it too much. I just want to kind of show I think we came to like between myself and Dark, we came to kind of like an interesting. I kind of
disagreement.
Yeah, heavy. No, we completely still disagree. Yeah. I still don't want them, but I kind of like I understood more the stance from the other side, if that makes sense. So like before, I didn't really understand why the justification for why they want it. I was like, okay, I understand now more why you want this.
Anyway,
still wrong.
They're wrong, but we understand why they're thinking wrong.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
We're gonna get so much shit on YouTube. Someone's already hating the fact that we can. Oh, you don't love this.
Oh, really?
This is the way it is. It is the way it is. Okay, we have our opinions, and
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's our opinions. It's what we think. But yeah,
exactly. Right. Okay. So where were we? Oh yes, we had. It's been a good week though for Star Citizen news, apart from the Forbes thing. And like we said, we could argue that that's actually bad news. Is still.
There was one quick question in chat about that and saying that should Chris respond to it, and this is an interesting one because this isn't the first article that he's had slagging the game off and everything else, and
they're all the same.
We've had this discussion a long time ago, I think, on the podcast, and I think originally we kind of were along the lines of he should say something because it feels damaging, or ignoring it seems worse. But I think as time's gone. But I can't remember exactly if that's what our stance was. But now, anyway, as time goes on and the fact that we seem to be getting these weekly slag off posts and everything else, I think it's just easier not to say anything. It's because if people are going to believe it, they'll believe it. They're not going to believe it. If you got Forbes, then you've got Chris Roberts coming out and making a statement. The people that want to believe Forbes will believe Forbes. And then it doesn't matter what Chris Roberts is going to say. They're going, of course he's going to say that. He's going to lie. So it doesn't really matter what you say. Okay, so he's gonna, if he defends himself, it makes no difference, which is why this court case came about and everything else. It's like, well, why isn't he speaking up about the court case? Just let the court case run its course, let them either win or lose, and let it go on. And I think that's just basically, I think that's the only way you can handle it, because the more you react to it, the more these shit posts will happen trying to get a response from them. I think they only responded once when it was like a personal attack on Sandy, and when she left Twitter for a little while. And there was a little bit of a discussion saying that you want to slag my game off, blah, blah, blah. But don't make it personal.
Look at it this way, from another perspective. I'm a gamer, don't know Star Citizen. Am I going to look up on Forbes what kind of games there are out now and which are good and which are shite?
Where else do you look?
My go-to besides that, Chris has enough backers who will defend him or can counter all the bad answers and questions they have. So
I'm in the camp of don't respond to it, because my main reason for don't responding to this is the same reason why you answer the question after years of is there ships in game. Deliver through your work, no longer your talk. Star Citizen's talk has been going on for 7 years. You need to deliver it. So in my view, the biggest way of saying stuff you Forbes is Squadron 42 gets released. It's fucking awesome.
Yep.
It brings loads of people to the game and we move forward. And Server Meshing comes in, they do new advanced technologies. They bring 1,000 new gamers into the gaming arena. The game is insane, massive space battles. The game is a huge success, the biggest sci-fi game of all time ever on a PC. That is how you silence all this bullshit. You say, and then all of these stupid articles become literally pointless because you crush them.
I mean, that's something we said a long time ago. It's like the game will speak for itself, and it's like any game during development, or if you do bother reading, say like PC Gamer or something, you'll get it slagging it off when it's in development or for some other reason because it's what sells their magazine that week. Then when it comes out, and if a game comes out and everybody's going, oh wow, this is amazing, and it does really well on its sales, the next magazine that comes out going, oh yes, we give this game 98%. Oh, since we tried it, they've fixed this and they fixed that, and now it's a great game. Like, they can write what they want, and as long as people keep buying their magazines, it makes no difference. They can literally slag it off to the day it comes out, and then the day after they can praise it. and say, "Oh no, they've changed bits now, and now we've really tried it and really got our teeth into it. It's an amazing game." At the end of the day, it will be the game that will speak for itself, and it doesn't matter. Hype builds an element of sales to start off with. Look at Anthem. Look at some of the recent games we've got. But it's the game and its playability that will be what really tells you whether it's worth it or not. And with a game that's supposed to be around for 10 plus years, it doesn't even need that support straight out the gate either. It's like literally where more and more people are going, it's like, well, what is this game that everyone seems to be playing? And then that gets bigger and bigger. And so yeah, over time, all those articles will be like, it's like everyone says, even with newspapers, it's like yesterday's chip paper. Or today's news, tomorrow's chip paper, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. But basically, it's forgotten about 2 days later. For sure. And like this Forbes article, give it a week, no one's even going to remember it was out there. So
there's already been plenty similar to it that have just come and gone. It's like it's just the thing with the internet is nowadays, nothing ever stays dead. It gets regurgitated and brought back again. That's just unfortunately the power of digital media. You can't seem to kill that shit off like you used to. Yeah, but for me, like CIG needs to just smash it by delivering results. No offense to CIG, but like talk at the moment, they've done a lot of talk. There are whiteboards behind Tony's desk full of talk. There are ATVs out my ass full of talk. There are ICS now. They've changed the name to try and make it fresh, as if we've got a whole fucking brand new set of TV shows that was going to be fresh talk. It's like, come on, it's still the same. It's talk. Deliver. That's it. That's the only way you'll crush all of this, is by delivering Squadron 42, a smash, amazing game, and eventually delivering a persistent universe that's incredible in the next, whatever, in a number of years. That's what they have to do. Simple. Easy, right?
Easy. I mean, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. It's easy.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. It should be doing anything different. That's exactly what they plan to do. So
they've got a roadmap. They've got a plan. They've got a team. They've got 4 studios. How hard can it be?
It's like, wake up one day, should we make it good now? Okay, let's flick the switch. They just flick the switch and it's all working perfectly.
It's so easy.
Have we wound them up long enough? Have we kept people waiting long enough? Oh, fuck it, right. There you go, it's working now, guys.
Here's the one we made earlier, here's the game we made earlier. We've just been letting you play the shit one. Here's the actual one, We've been needing the extra money. Right. Okay.
Next topic.
Next topic. That's that. That's that done. So that is that. So anyone coming in and you start bringing, anyone comes in and starts talking about Forbes, whatever else, we've done. We did it like 20 minutes ago. We've done it. It's finished. We're moving on. It is done. Right. On to, do you want to talk about Inside the Verse?
So should we do Inside the Verse? It's ATV. But with a different name.
Yes.
There he is. So, let me see if this works. We have the flight model being shown off once again because we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. What did they do with the flight model? They were showing us flying through the canyons when they were comparing 3.4 with 3.5. I was like, could they not just show a flight model previously to that?
There you go. Is that working? Hopefully. I don't know. I can't even remember what the question was now. So I think they were just they kind of talked a little bit about how where it's come from Gamescom, obviously, CitizenCon, sorry, when they first kind of introduced it and they had zero feedback on. Yeah, they had zero feedback on like how the flight model worked. This was the first way they were showing it off, and then they turned around and basically said that. Over time, the feedback of the combat pilots was they underestimated. So they've done a lot of testing and everything else themselves, but they didn't actually have any kind of feedback from all the people that like to do combat. And I think they were quite surprised. And it's a bit like maybe this aim assist, they're kind of surprised with the reaction they were getting from the combat pilots. So I thought that was kind of interesting in terms of that they are now at least listening to that sort of feedback. That we've obviously seen that there's lots of polls that have gone out. There's lots of feedback forms and spectrums full of posts and everything all about it and asking, for their feedback. So I think they're kind of happy with the direction it's going, but I think they know that it needs more work for combat to work.
Yeah, which is great. And again, everyone that seems to grumble at the minority. Though we've had so many responses, didn't we? had this one person on YouTube went off on us on YouTube, which I'm not going to name your names, but if you go onto our YouTube last week, you'll see him. I forget his name. Hang on, let me find it. I'll tweet him.
I'm not going to name names, but I forget his name. Doesn't matter.
No, but
let's look it up.
No, it's just because like his argument, because we talk about the questions. And I always if that's a topic of interest to people and they want to kind of talk about it, like that's cool with me, like I'm always down to be corrected. Like I've said before, like it's never an issue. And so he went on this long talk about, and Miz, I think me and I are both kind of in this camp on this one, which was, let me just dig it out because it was a good one. It was a good topic of conversation. You can find out who it was.
And
he talks about the vocal minority, wasn't it? That was it.
It was because we kept going on about vocal minority. But the thing is as well, like,
it's not bullshit.
The fact that people respond to the YouTube channel is actually good. It means that they're also passionate enough to engage. So don't get us wrong. We do appreciate people taking the time to give feedback on the YouTube channel because it's all discussion. And we're just, like, this is one thing, the disclaimer that maybe we should say at the start, right?
Yeah.
It's our opinions. We're not CIG staff. I mean, everyone knows that much. But our comments on this podcast are our opinions. Like, we will try to give you as balanced as we can. But it's literally this. If we believe something, it's what we believe, and it's the same as his response is almost like, "Well, I've said it and I'm right, and you guys are wrong." Well, if that's what you want to believe, that's fine. But it's
you're wrong.
Definitely you're wrong, but it's definitely opinion.
It's fine. And but what was really cool was because I think it was an interesting topic because we talked about. I don't want to go over it too much again because you can obviously watch last week's show, but. We talk about the vocal minority, and then we had the vocal majority, and then he comes back and he was like saying it was bullshit, and they stay in their discords with their friends and chat there. So he called me out about if I'm too pro, and ignore that bit. That's garbage. Majority of people are more damn casual than you are. They come from other games and they're pampered. Blah blah blah. Like I was reading it, and I kind of think we're just kind of like. Again, it's the main thing for me is the quiet minority or the quiet majority. I'm like, how do we know what they want? Because they don't say anything. They could literally be happy with it going either way. They have no interest. If they really care that little, and then it's like, then if you are supposedly you are speaking for this vocal majority, clearly you're not, because now you're so passionately enraged. You are now the vocal minority on the opposite side of it.
Yeah, it's like
just on the different side. So how come you get to take all of the the quiet? This is what I always get frustrated. It's like, why do you get to take? It's like, okay, I'm going to take all the best players from that team and put them on our side to make ourselves bigger because, well, clearly they're not said anything, so they're all on my team. I'm like, hang on a minute, why they could be on our team?
It's more a case of like he's saying that anyone that's disagreeing with the aim assist is loud, and all those people that agree with it are just saying nothing. And so my opinion was more like that's not the case. Like, yes, we've got a loud people that are disagreeing with it because we obviously don't like it, but the people that are being quiet aren't necessarily also liking it or agree with it. They're just not saying anything. It doesn't kind of work that way. It's not less like the quiet. It's not like all the loud ones are on this side, all the quiet ones on that side. You don't know what the quiet ones are until they give their feedback. Now that's kind of, and that leads into a little bit, I think, what was either on the RTV this week or the ITV, and also the interview with Brian, and we did mention it before, is that it's important for everybody to give feedback, whether you like it or you hate it. And that ultimately is what is going to be the feedback that CIG get. We can shout till we're blue in the face. Doesn't necessarily mean CIG are going to just listen to us because we're loud. They look at not only the stats of people on forums shouting about it, but the actual gameplay. Who's playing it? Are people still playing it? Are they turning aim assist on or off? Are they, so it's a much broader spectrum of where they're gathering the information from. And
that's what they said on the Inside the Verse, wasn't it, Miss?
Yeah.
Like the guy, they literally said that we gathered the feedback, and also we don't necessarily always want to go to watch the people that are telling us who are blowing smoke up our ass all the time. You know, we want to hear the people who are maybe not necessarily enjoying it so much and understand why they're not enjoying it. You know, that's the whole point. They need to know everything, and then they take it with literally with a pinch of salt, if you suppose, if in the way. You know, they take it on board and they go, okay, you know, and then they have their own perspective, and Chris can go, fuck you, I'm right, this is what I want, you know, at the end of the day, and come in with the hammer, and I'm always like, that's cool, that's the whole point of it, that's cool, I'm cool with that, that's it's Chris's game, he's ultimately, it's his vision. It's like, but what bugs me though which bugs me the most, and this is the one thing that really annoys me, is when people use like real life military situations to justify why shit isn't in game, especially aim assist. That's one of my biggest bugbears. It's like, well, in the military, you would have, you would want to have the aim assist, and I'm like, I am not. My life is not on the fucking line here. If I'm in war, I would happily have 25 gazillion computers because I want that shit to win. Of course I do. But in a computer game, it's a computer game. The whole point of a computer is you can escape.
Game.
You can be that person in that situation. So I always use the analogy of a Formula One. For anyone that doesn't know this, in Formula One, they came along, Williams team in the early 90s, they developed a technology which gave tracking for the cars, okay? The cars, nowadays, the Formula One cars, are limited by their technology so that we actually have try to have an enjoyable experience. I assure you that if they tried to put all the technology that we can do now, aim assists, auto cars, whatever else, you would literally have no cars ever overtaking anyone. There would be no errors.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been racing because it would
be garbage.
Yeah.
It would be garbage.
Okay?
Okay.
It already is garbage. I mean, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
But I know Box's a huge Formula One fan, and my dad is as well. And I always take the piss because he shouts at the TV for years. He's been doing now. It's like, because it basically comes down to technological advancement.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not just that, but I know what I mean. Like half the time, the good drivers foul literally because their car fouls, not because of their driving. And that's what you'll get if you put all this technology. Now, I know it's a game when you can add all that crap, but it's like, it's a game at the end of the day. We want to have the fun, not have everything do it for you. Otherwise, you just sit back, press the go button, and watch your person fly away and do whatever it needs to. It's that's the ultimate thing. Is like, competition, and we've said it before. Like the same with the aim assist. You won't see competitive leagues using aim assist in any game I've played before. It's like it's banned. They actively ban people that are trying to use aim bots and things like that because it defeats the point of the player's skill. So yeah.
And that's why I get frustrated when they always refer to, like Chris always talks about World War II and dogfighting, all that sort of stuff. And I'm like,
there was no aim assist in fucking World War II airplanes. There was an assist in terms of being able to fire it through the propeller. You know what I mean? Which is fucking, it always amazes me that you can fire your rounds through a propeller. But it's like, that's probably about as advanced technology as it came to. You know what I mean? I mean, a little bit, maybe a bit more, but that was probably about it. Did they have gimbals on their airplanes at the time? World War II? Anyone?
Well, on the back.
The turret gunner, the turret gunner was gimbal.
That was.
And I bet you he would have loved auto aim.
Yes, I guarantee it. He would have been like, "Give me that shit now. My life is on the line here." You know, honestly, please just stop it. Stop.
Kind of going a little bit back on the feedback side of things. Kill asked in chat, and someone actually mentioned it on our YouTube channel, is like ways of giving feedback, and that's the problem. So the people that are a little bit more silent don't necessarily like going to Spectrum and creating a thread or reacting to a thread on there. And the person on YouTube I think it was Death's Messenger, made a good point, and that Star Citizen should periodically send out a survey to your. I mean, the different games have done it, so you could either send it to your email and get you after a major patch, give you a couple of weeks, and then send it to your email and say, we really need your feedback. Let us know how it's gone. Or, I mean, they've got the option of potentially, although you may get too much feedback, is doing it every time you log off the game. A window pops up and says, there's a feedback form. Tell me how you experience
that happens with the Amazon game. Each and every time you quit the game, log out, you will get this instant web page where you can, spend basically 5 minutes to fill in stuff. And
how your experience was on that game. Yeah. And I think that's a good idea. And I think having that sort of feedback would help more people give their feedback rather than just, because I don't even like to go on Spectrum that much either. And so, yeah. You are under NDA. We're all under NDA.
Yeah,
so we
sorry.
can't give any feedback.
Just
A B,
preview.
sorry, hang on a second. A
form.
B-29 had a computer-operated turret. Oh my god! They had computers in World War II. That must have been as big as the plane. They must have had that bad boy running, a computer running in the back of it. Well, how was that operated? I'm fascinated. You'll have to Blackbird send me on a private link. A B-29 computer. How it was compute? What type of computer we're talking about here? I'm fascinated by that in World War II. Absolutely fascinated. Do you think they had computers back then? Definitely be interested to know that.
I had big computers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you get that on a plane? Seriously, I've seen the
It's a big
computers back
plane.
in the day. There was a size of
B-29's a bomber, so
size of a
full size of
freaking build.
the-
Cool. Where are we going? Sorry. So what was next on the beautiful?
So
eyes?
the next thing I think, was it the weapon?
Yeah, it was not in the correct order, probably.
No.
But,
All right,
There was a bit about clothing, if you want to do that bit.
yeah, clothing I liked.
Ooh.
Not that I
Richie.
was wearing that myself in game, but I really liked the completely different style
I'd
that
wear
they.
it. I really like this new style. But go on, you talk about it. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more what we see now is basically all dark, all leathery,
Yeah.
kind of style, a bit of worker style, junky, you know. And now this is a bit more
Fashion.
fashionable, high class, going out to clubs, whatever. And I'm wondering if these handbags are in the game for Miserable when it comes out. That's something you don't see in any games, I guess. Handbags.
I guarantee it. What's not in there is Crocs. I can guarantee there's
Damn
no
it.
Crocs inside those
Okay.
handbags.
I'm gonna request a refund.
I
I'm done.
like the colors. I think it's nice to
Yeah.
have colors. I like the fact we've got a nice big night. Look at the sky. Beautiful blue, white.
Completely different,
cloud.
right? It's like
Yeah.
that new station that's gonna be built above. What is it? Oh, not Osiris. Osirium.
Nice and sunny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Looks fresh, really fresh.
yeah. I mean, it looks like I need to see them. I'm curious to see how it all gets implemented and stuff. I'm all for just more of it. You know what I mean? Just like loads of stuff. Because the
Yeah,
more you have,
yeah.
the more you can kind of customize, especially with the way that they're designing the clothes and everything. You can kind of take bits from here and bits from there and make your own style. I think that's the main thing for the way I look at it is I go, that's kind of cool. I like what they're kind of envisioning there. But the truth of the matter is like, you'll maybe take the shades off that dude, maybe you take the t-shirt, maybe you take the trousers off a different person, maybe you take the clothes off a girl character, because we can now take
Right.
girl character clothes and mix them around. You might take the girl's glasses or whatever, or maybe the girl's haircut, mix it with the boy, kind of, you can mix and match now. So
Yeah.
I'm all for it. And the more they do, the merrier. I'm looking forward to seeing the flare system. More flares. The cool skull helmets we've seen, and all the kind of like all the flares they've shown us from the CIG devs, from the Hello Kitty kind of weird, scary looking thing, and the weird kind of samurai, what kind of cool badass samurai thing. I'm excited to see more. I hope they do more like kind of. I don't know if they're animated, like animated kind of things, like kind of like. That do shit.
Well, they said they were working on the actual glowing textures, which
yeah.
the nice thing I like about these outfits is they at least look a bit futuristic as well.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of the stuff we've already had.
It's all industrial right now, except for the t-shirts they sell you at the moment. But this is really looking, like people have a life, go outside and do stuff.
I mean, it's shopping. That's what they do.
It's what people do.
That's
what people are forced to do.
That's what we do. That's what we do. I mean, I wonder if those are life. Do you think those are bags for life that they're carrying?
Probably, yeah. They're probably a little bit more than 5p a bag.
They fold up. They unfold. I could do with one like that. Like I needed like a really cool kind of like someone please invent me one that's like a credit card. Like I know that people say they can get the really skinny ones, but I really want like a really cool foldy out one that kind of like. I can put in my wallet and then it'll like origami. I've been thinking about this, guys, as a proper design. If there's anybody out there, I'm going to do a Kickstarter
So you just want to
campaign.
go and have like a pack of cards.
No, you just kind of go. It will fold out into a bag, like an origami type thing, like a paper, like a
Oh.
cool bag. And it'll
Yeah,
fold
yeah,
out,
yeah.
and then you can. But then it's like really easy to fold it back down into like a credit card thing, and it'll slide into my pocket. Because I can't do it. Like in this world, like at the moment, it's just driving me crazy. Like I do not remember a bag. I'm not like my missus. I got another bag like this and put a bag in a bag in a bag. It's just not me. You know, I don't do that. I don't carry like.
My missus takes like a handbag to work, and she got it bought to her as a gift, and obviously the person who gave it to her put it in a bag, so it was like a bag in a bag, and like she's kept the gift bag that it came in, and it's currently upstairs in the hall, and she literally comes home from work, takes her work bag upstairs and puts it inside this gift bag. So you literally got a bag inside a bag just sitting on the... I was like, what are you doing? Just bin the gift bag and hang the work bag under the stairs like you used to. But no, because she's got her old work bags under the stairs. There's about 4 of those just... I don't use them anymore. But you know, they're old work bags. They're too nice to throw away, but I just don't want to use them anymore.
Women do women
what
things.
What are you doing? Why?
It's going to be ships full of bags, is all I'm saying. So if they don't, then the future is
body bags in case of the Dark Law.
Yeah, well, true. That's true. Different type of bag for sure.
Oh,
but no, my missus is saying, like, literally, I was really big clear out. I literally just went from underneath, and I was like, 13 different bags of different sizes that are like, you know, it was like, well, you know, it's a pretty bag. I want to keep it, whatever.
It's
I'm
the
like,
bag
why?
inside a bag inside a bag. That's what I don't
No, I had like 20 bags inside a bag. I literally like, I had every different type of bag you could possibly imagine was inside these bags. I literally, and do you know what happened was like, I literally just went, fuck this. They're all going in one bag, and then they're going in the biggest bag outside, which is called the bin. That's where they're going. I was like immediately like, oh my God, I got loads of space now in the bottom of my cabin. Fantastic. I can put shit in it now rather than bags. Oh God, good stuff. Good off-topic conversation, that one. You can all identify with that one, I tell you.
Well, it's good fashion. I'm very pleased to see this. And yeah, again, I will not dress up like that, but
you might be
yes, you
surprised.
will. I can see you cosplaying that outfit easy.
With the old
sure,
90s
darling.
glasses. You need those 90s glasses,
you know, with the big kind of like you went like that.
Yeah.
Almost like
that was the
ski masks.
Yeah, they wear ski mask glasses. They were crazy, man. The 90s had like the craziest, like everything was like angles. It's like all super fast, and like Oakley glasses were the thing when they were all like, I can get shot in the eye, man, and not die. I'm like, trust me, so you ain't gonna get shot in the eye. I assure you, that's not gonna happen. But if you do, you're gonna be alive. Very bruised, but you'll be alive. Woo!
What happens is the eye will disappear, but it just the glasses will fold in on themselves in through the eye. It's like,
you're okay. Just deflected, went down straight down to your body and killed the rest of you. It's fine. But your eye's okay. You'll be able to have an open coffin. You'll be fantastic.
Trivial.
The next what was next shown tonight?
So there was the canyon.
Oh yeah, these were amazing. I have to say, this did look impressive. Like
there was one person who said there need to be more rocks in there. It doesn't look realistic. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Finally, we have something with less rocks we can drive on without hitting rocks all of the time. 100%. And it looks so damn cool.
Yeah.
Even the layers
yeah.
in the walls or whatever you call it, just like the Grand Canyon, it's just super.
Yeah. That looked just like exactly Grand Canyon. I was like, I'm in America. I thought it was a picture. I was like, we were talking about the other day about photorealism and stuff, and I was like, that I wasn't even sure if this was real, like in the game generated, or if this was like.
I asked it on Twitter. Only that picture right now in front of the camera, you can see some sort of crack that's really fuzzy.
Yeah,
that's the only thing you could see that was really fake.
Yeah, and so I was like, is that, you know, like someone's saying, is that concept, like Trivial saying, is it like, is that genuinely like, is that using graphics, or is that just pictures, or is that somebody doing like a pitch? Like I wanted to know, I didn't know if it was real or if it's like, you know, someone's taking like, you know, Grand Canyon pictures and then kind of like you're doing visual effects. You kind of, you create like a background board, which is fake, but it's using pictures from all over the place to create it, an image to give you like a, you know, and I was looking at this going, is this graphics or is this?
Yeah, but is this, okay, looking at the chat now, is this concept art or not?
Well, someone says it's not concept. The Dark Law says it's not.
Yeah, but
That's
He's a
only
fanboy.
concept.
Trivial
That's not
function.
He's a
That's its
fanboy.
concept, I'm guessing. But
He's a fanboy. Everything's positive. Don't believe him.
I hope it's not concept art, and I definitely think they can pull this off.
This
Because
is
it's
concept.
awesome.
That is concept.
Damn
Trivia's
sweet.
saying that is concept. So we got two opinions. This is why I love chat, because it's literally no
Paul,
one
where's the
fucking
Paul?
knows for sure.
I mean, it's just rocks, isn't it? It's just bare
Soldiers.
land and
Oh,
rocks.
it's miserable.
Money! Throw money at it. Throw money. No, I mean, you know.
Rocks. I
Yeah,
mean, we're
I-
back here
I-
again, folks. We're back here talking about fucking
Rocks.
every
Woo!
time.
The game has moved on, guys. We're talking about gameplay. We're talking about exploration. We're finding alien monuments. We're about finding crazy things about gameplay. We're about anomalies on planets. We're about all this awesome. Yeah, we're still looking at beautiful sceneries and rocks and
Desktop screensaver pictures.
woo progress.
But yeah, it's amazing, and I look forward. As always, when I see this, I know there's people that love the desert planets and everything else, but I'm still really looking forward to the crisis level detail, lush jungle atmosphere with rusted, broken ships and trees overhanging and swamp wasps biting your face and rusty, smelly ponds of stagnant water going up your nose. Yeah, beautiful. That's what I'm waiting for.
I'm waiting for the Avatar world,
Yeah.
which is like the Anthem world.
Exactly that. Exactly.
You're waiting for that, and hopefully they'll bring Anthem world with jetpacks as well, and then we'll have amazing gameplay, and then we'll all be like, "Woo! This is the game we wanted." But yeah, I think Chris can really chuckle to himself. Yeah, it looks great. There's no question. Come on, we can't like that. Will look amazing. The desktop screensaver pictures. The people who will be tweeting it, and I always love responding to the tweets with the guys who literally take a photo 4 feet from their airplane or their spaceship, and they're like, with the sunrise setting or whatever, and they've got their kind of gun out. And they're like, "Whoa, exploring! I'm exploring, Star Citizen."
Which
I'm
one
like,
of the 1,000 are you talking about?
Oh, there's only one of these. He's a great dude. We have a nice little bit of banter. I'm always kind of sending him and like, it's the same. Like, I'm gonna go check out a new moon and see what great screenshot. I'm like, it's the same, but different. Still the same. Literally, it is that meme. It's brilliant, and it's just we need to be able to do more stuff on the planets and then have more interesting things going on. So it'll come. It's just we wait. It's the waiting game.
We'll wait. It'll come. So there was this landing gear thing for those.
Yeah. Okay. You have to explain this to me.
I don't have to explain anything because I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
Tracks from the Vanguard.
Why should a ship have tracks?
Because this way you can go
So
over
it can go up mountains when the ship's driving along.
Why don't you just go up? Damn it! It's why it's so
Why don't you
useless.
just fly instead of?
I totally don't get this.
It's
so,
for when you land on those landing pads that aren't very landing paddy, and it's like got rocks in it, and you need to go. I don't fucking know.
somebody somewhere. Chris was in his tent again after his last tent exercise where he wrote about how rockets aren't rockets and we shouldn't use rockets, but it was rockets. He was off in his land on another quest to find a spirit animal. And then in the middle of that quest, he suddenly came out of it. He was like, I know what we need, guys. We need to put turrets. No, sorry. Forget turrets. I've already done that. That's gimbals. We need to put tracks on all of our ships now. So we're going to scrap all the wheels. Scrap them all. We don't need any wheels.
Like
anymore.
going back to stuff.
No wheels. So you guys did. Who's working on the remodel? Stop now. Everything stop now. I just had my spirit animal has told me we need tracks on all of the ships.
Spaceships, not tanks. No, only the spaceships. It doesn't make sense.
That's what we need now. No, legit. Like I really didn't give it. Like it's such a small
Imagine
thing.
when we get the tonk, it's just going to be big giant wheels instead of a track. Just like big rubber fucking wheels.
I honestly, yeah,
it's like the old monster trucks.
Yeah, they could have put a sweet ass tread on there, and it would have been probably just as grippy. I mean, what happens when those misfire and they come flying off, and then what's going to happen then? Like those start spinning when you're doing 400, was it 500? You land, and then those are spinning along. Are they going to come whipping off? Like, let's be honest, anyone that's like on a bicycle chain, I don't know about you guys, but I don't see no bike guard there. You know, like so you can kind of hop off one leg and try and go one leg and try and get the chain to kind of
It's not linked to the engine. It's just tracks on the wheels. It's not going to spin around. They're not literally racing on these tracks.
Hey, I will be racing on those tracks for sure. We
just see all this dirt track going everywhere as it splatters everything.
Chop it off. It's a little tank. Like,
was it on the concept art? I got a feeling it may have been on the concept. I don't know. And then people were like, "Where's my tracks?" It was on the concept, and then they gone back and done it. I think I don't know.
Take it off, and they're like, "Yeah, that's another one of those things ticked. We don't have to do it again, guys." Woo! Party every time they do that. They just have a massive party in the office. They're like, "That's another one, boys. Ticked." Woo!
Maybe it's the closest thing they could get to like the Tonks like stuff, so they could practice on that first and then take it onto the Tonk.
It's not for the Redeem. I think it's for the. Isn't it for the variants? The Warden, the Valiant
Vanguard, isn't it?
It's for the Vanguard. Yeah,
the Vanguard thing.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm just pissing around. It really makes no difference to me. I don't own one of the ships. Like it will probably make no difference to the way it lands. You know, like the only thing I can think of, like I said, it's going to be able to now go over people in a more interesting way. You know, like that's the way I look at it.
Run people over with it.
It's like, you know, you'll be able to do more kind of cool Austin Powers moments for like Deadpool. You know, no, and you just really slowly go towards them from a great distance. Slowly crush.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kind of the way.
I think it was to do closer with the concept, and yeah, I know as Dark Law says it's to be towed, but like, what vehicle you can then have to tow it on a really uneven surface in the first place? Like, why you
A vehicle with only wheels.
a vehicle with wheels to pull this ship with tank treads? Yeah, it's just whatever.
The Vanguard with a fucking tow hook on the back of it. I just fucking love the idea of that. It's hilarious.
There is a hook on that. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. There's a ring in front of it.
Yeah, for towing.
That's the tow hook.
That's the tow hook. Oh, of course. Sorry.
I mean, that is their argument for having wheels on these ships in the first place, is so they can be towed.
Of course, because the animations.
I can imagine that it will be towed
what
inside
kind of
a carrier ship or whatever, or in a hangar. But
that's it.
Not outside with rocks and rubble and
Yeah.
what's the use? You will just fly over it and put it in front of the door. What do you care?
I mean, if you've gone to the effort of having a vehicle that can tow one of these ships, you're probably going to go to the effort of clearing the fucking landing pad so that it can land on a smoother surface.
Yes.
just saying.
But anyway,
just
bad decision.
Again, it's one of those like I'm telling you, it's a spirit animal quest conversation. This is what I swear I can just imagine their office meetings. Literally, they're just like 4 or 5 TPs just sitting in the office, just puffs of smoke coming out, and they come out with new ideas and concepts. It's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Okay, so the other thing we have, we'll quickly show off the weapon.
Oh, but I'm different. I think it's fine either way. Like just for anyone, just because we're dicking around.
Okay.
Like,
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's just tanks or wheels, whatever. It does the same job. It's just to get. That's what their concept was. But it's kind of pointless. But why not?
Yeah, you know,
why not?
7 months work for some poor young designers just come from.
Well, no, saying that though, to a certain degree, they do say that sometimes they want to get people on a project to learn some of the ropes and things like that. And I suppose maybe that is a good little project. Okay, convert these from wheels to tracks for us.
Yeah.
Give you something to sink your teeth into that's not going to be a massive issue, you know, possibly.
That's
Put it on
cool.
half speed. Okay, give me a second.
The animation looks beautiful. Again, it's a high gloss rendered image. So again, I don't think it'll look quite as glossy in game unless you're playing it at 4K and you get some Growl, whatever his name is.
Don't you guys think if you look at that picture, you will see your first grip, you know, with the trigger.
Yeah.
Then you have the second grip, which is in an angle.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, way too close to the first grip.
You use like a gangster. You're forgetting it's gangster style. You hold it on its side. You just
No, I think you put it on your shoulder.
Nah, you hold it under your arm.
Yeah, under you got to think.
I think it will tip over because you would have the
I'm a badass.
my webcam, the handle like this in front and not like in an angle like that because it can It doesn't look like it's ergonomic.
You're gonna have it one over. Well, the shoulder thing's gonna go over your shoulder. You're gonna have your hand like this. You're gonna have the hand like this.
Your shoulders at the back.
Oh, it's not a rocket launcher. Okay.
It sits on your shoulder, and
Looks
then
big.
it's just like dead, load, animation.
But it looks cool.
I'm sure the devs in America have all fired rocket launchers. They know how it's meant to be.
Sure.
They've got it in the office firing rocket launchers at each other. I'm sure it's fine. It's how it's meant to be.
The guy's name came into the office with a live one.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Right. Today we're filming rocket launchers just to use it. Let's oh shit!
I'm really
need that
angry.
office wall anyway.
What did you say to me on Friday? Yeah, no, I can imagine. What I'm more interested though is the shells. Like if you could do like cluster bombs and stuff, like if you can do like the rounds are unique and different each one. So you have like maybe 12 different types of ammunition that you can load it with. Like for me, like say like heat seeking, cluster bombs, all sorts of other things which kind of like break off and do all sorts of different things, like shrapnel, like a grenade one or something that just does like a huge spray of kind of whatever in front. That would be I would love to see more of.
Looks like it's got ammo of 3.
It's got three rounds, but it's like what are the there'll be the 3. There'll probably just be 3 traditional, just kind of like
yeah.
It'd be great to see worms exactly.
Well,
Just
you
do
can
like-
even turn the volume up and down on it, just above the trigger.
Oh yeah. Oh,
It's got maybe little headphones in the side.
Pew. That's a Dutch gun. We say pew pew because we don't have any ammunition.
Yeah, just the pew pew noises. How loud do you want to hear? If you want to go silent mode, you keep pressing the minus button until it goes silent, and it's like, now we've got to instead of putting a silencer on the front. There you go. It's got those sound effects now. For your silent rockets. But no, I mean it looks good. It does look good. All the weapons are always looking good when they're working on them and showing them, especially when we see this pass, which is normally in a lot more detail, very shiny. I'm looking forward. Well, this is, I suppose, going to be interesting for sort of if they'll let us use something like this as a passenger in, say, like the Cyclones and things. So you can follow along and try and shoot at ships or something, or like maybe turrets on the ground bases or something using this. I don't know whether they're going to restrict us to more handguns as passengers, or whether we'll be able to. I mean, I suppose like on a Cutlass or something like that, when you open the side doors, you'll definitely be able to have a few people standing there, rocket launchers on arms. Just
if you have one, I'm nowhere near you by that time. I hope.
What do you mean?
It can only go
Don't
wrong.
trust me.
That's the thing. I've sat once beside you, and you just put my lap on fire. It's just what?
That was
An accident.
An accident. That was just the grey cat being the grey cat. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Nothing to do with my fault at all. Okay, so yeah, that's the weapon. Looks cool. Blah blah blah. So the final thing that they talked about on inside the verse, whatever it's called, was the Banu Defender.
I've got my popcorn ready for this bit.
Okay. Let's get it lined up. Send it to live. Boom. I'll just sit here and watch it now. It's beauty at work.
So pretty.
So interested in the materials that will show up. What Koons will make.
Crab? Anyone says crab to me one more time?
Yeah, it looks like.
It looks nothing
crabby.
like a crab. Crab's thing's more sideways. This is more like Superman crab flying forwards.
Is sweet.
It does look a little bit more like a crab when it's landing, actually.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
I'm a bit worried about the view though.
Lobster
from the cockpit.
Defender.
It's,
Lobster Defender.
Does it turn red when it overheats?
yeah.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen a bit more of the outside. I mean, we did see they showed us a little bit of the cockpit, which was kind of cool.
I'm kind of guessing they haven't still worked it out on the outside. I mean, if
Speed is pretty fast.
done. It's like what's interesting is he's saying like how he's using whole new materials and having to design it all from concept up. Then obviously this is going to be the big thing that everyone is waiting for the Merchant Man. So it sounds like they had a lot of from what he was saying, kind of like they've been held off being able to design it because of the materials, and they hadn't signed off on what materials he's able to use. So it sounds like they finally allow them to say, right, yeah, these are the materials that are going to be used, and you can now crack on with actually making the thing. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's definitely interesting to see like the first Banu ship. Once this is done and finally in, it will definitely start paving the way to getting the merchantman done, because I think that's the same thing's been holding that office for such a long time.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't get is he kind of said it was going to be nimble, and the way the new flight mechanics are, I can't see many maneuvering thrusters around the thing. So how nimble it's actually going to be will be interesting, or whether it's just going to drag like a bitch. Obviously, we'll have to wait to see for that one.
The interesting thing is that we learned from David Coulson when he was talking about this, is that he doesn't necessarily always tune the ships. He builds the flight model, but the guys who are working on the ships tend to fiddle around with the way
he said
the
they keep
ship actually
tweaking
is.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, you know, he may not have necessary direct control on how this ship flies, which I found really fascinating, because it could be in a different studio, or I mean, I think, you know, because this is in a different studio, because this is in America and he's in UK. So Josh and whoever else is kind of working on it could say this is going to be nimble, and guess what? You know, those little thrusters on the side, we're just going to go dial them up with the number values, and this thing's going to be way more nimble than you think, you know. And everyone goes, "Oh, it's overpowered," and then it gets nerfed. What is interesting, which is interesting, which is very interesting, is they talk about the materials, but yeah, everything I see is fucking grey. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, we spent all this time, and I just worry, and I hope they don't go. They spend all this time making these amazing materials and make it different, and then there's like, and now we're going to make it Audi grey. You know?
We do need to get away from this grey shit.
I was under the impression that the materials and the colors still weren't finalized, so it could go.
They said that they were not necessarily finalized, but released in terms of the textures and things. Right, we haven't necessarily seen them all, but he's now given the go ahead to create it with certain things. It's I mean, the concept art was a bit more a bit more whitish, wasn't it? The Banu, I think, to start off with. Although this picture here that it's showing looks more chrome, a bit like the actual Vandula, but cleaner, because the Vandal are a dirty chrome, whereas this actually looks like a cleaner sort of chrome color. As I think someone, as it Starburger said or something, still worried about how much visibility you're actually going to get in this cockpit. We'll see. But until we actually see it, we're not going to know. But I definitely, it's a ship. I think Madness, you're definitely waiting for it to see what it's like for combat with.
My cutlass is disappearing for this ship, so that's quite a big. That's going to be a huge sacrifice on my part.
This might be, if it fights well, it'll be probably my fighting ship, I think, but I don't know yet. We'll see.
It depends on the price.
Well, I may go full Banu. It depends on what I like, because my glaive may end up becoming a Banu merchantman.
And then I'll have this as my fighter, and then my Banu will be my big, multiplayer ship. Because I'm not sure quite where I'm heading yet. If I'm going to go down the Vandal road or if I'm going to go Banu road, I don't know yet. We'll see.
I definitely want alien ships, so I'm hoping one of them's going to have to tick the box at some point. The Reliant is just anyway. So yeah, well, hopefully. I mean
Are you a bit disappointed? Do I feel a little bit disappointment in your reaction?
What are you disappointed about?
No, the Reliant's fucking amazing, especially when you take it around the racetrack and smash into every building that's available. Every building.
You did that every time you ever had that ship, though. It's like
I thought this patch would make it better, and it's made it worse. It's like I crashed more in it now than I ever did. So.
Wow. Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Banu ship it's looking. I mean, we didn't really see a lot of it. And I hope that they kind of bring that organic-y feel to it that it was supposed to have. Because some of people were saying about the Banu merchantman, I think some of the early concepts showed it kind of more like a rib cage on the inside and a little bit more organic. And then some of the newer concept stuff we saw for it kind of took a step back from that, and it started to look a little bit too much like more like just an ordinary ship. So yeah, I'm hoping they've managed to kind of readdress that somehow, and bring that sort of more organic feel back to it. And anything else to say on that?
I'm super hyped for it. I can't wait to fly it. It's a new
Yeah.
alien ship. It's the first of its kind in game. I can't come soon enough. Obviously, make it right, but I'm super excited to get in. It's a 2-seater ship as well. The fact that the second pilot supposedly will be able to fly like the first one as well, take control.
Probably lose
is
his
gonna
HUD,
be-
but never mind.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see that working. That could be the first. Actually, it'll be kind of dope. That could be the first ship where the second person is able to fly the ship, I believe, because I don't think you can do it in the Super Hornet. I don't think the second pilot can fly the Super
No,
Hornet. I don't know.
there's no ship that the second pilot can
Yeah.
fly the ship.
So in my head, it's like if they get that working, that's awesome, and that could be the most used multi-crew ship potentially for a while in terms of like if you and your mate want to go and do stuff, especially if you can do missions together.
Yeah, it's like
you could just
take
disappear.
over and
I'll go there for pee or whatever, or whatever. I'm just and then you can fly it for a bit and fly around, or you can just say, okay, I'm just going to let you fly it, and I'm going to hang out and watch. It's like a training ship as well for combat. It'd be an awesome training combat ship as well. So you can do some maneuvers, and then your mate next to you, then you can teach him and say, okay, you just saw what I did. I did this, and this. Now you try and repeat it, and then he'll be able to see and feel how the ship's supposed to respond. And then your mate can then do the same thing. Like for me, I'm already looking at it as an amazing dogfighting training ship.
L-bomb Banu flight school.
Yeah, for sure. Like literally legit. Like, because sometimes you just no amount of being told something, you have to experience it and feel it and see it. You know what I mean? Like no matter how much someone tries to teach you something, you just might go, I just don't get it. And they show you this angle and this, and they show you this, and you're like, yeah, I still don't quite get it. And then they like, okay, just jump into Banu, and then I'll fly it, and then you do it, and then I can then offer feedback directly as you're doing it. And it could be kind of cool. I'm excited. It's all I can say is that I'm very excited to see it. More than the 890.
Spock frozen.
No.
You were literally sitting there for so long. I thought your camera had frozen. He was like, he wasn't moving. It was just like
he had a little. It was like Total Recall. He had a little beat of sweat just slowly.
Usually on Saturday, I stand in a square in Amsterdam.
Yes,
and
I see you, and no.
oh, you're one of those
scare
statues.
people.
You're one of those statues that people
that's
chop
me.
money at. Oh, okay. Yeah. Checking, let me
No, I
just
was just
get a
listening to
coin and
Matt.
throw it at the screen.
I'm excited. I genuinely am. I'm more excited for that the 8 than the 890. I know other people will be like really excited for the 890, and I'm sure the 890 will be. I'm sure the 890 will be massive, and everyone will enjoy it, and it'll be huge. It's another massive ship to go and explore, and it'll be fun. It's got a tree in the middle of it. It's going to be great. I mean, don't get me wrong. If anyone's got an 890, I would love to obviously run around on it and use the toilet and stuff. It'd be fantastic. I think that's probably like, if you could, that'd be like one of the first things you want to do is like take a shit on like a $900 spaceship. You know what I mean? Like digital turd, leave a digital floater in a 890. That would be hilarious in my opinion. That's just my sad sense of humor. But no,
Are you into your poop phase?
I'm in my poop phase right now. I haven't quite got to the Oedipus complex yet, but we're in the poop. We're in the poop, playing with poop phase. For me, the Banu. For me, I'm thinking it will be overshadowed by the 890 this patch.
No.
I think it will.
No, who wants the 890? A lot of rubbish. It's just a big ship. It's just a big 600i, isn't it? Really,
including tracks.
Just a big 600i. There's nothing special about it at all.
No, it will be the poster on everybody's desktop. I'm sure.
For 5 minutes.
Mine.
It'll
be all over, like all the sunset pictures, and they'll be coming into Art Corp, and you'll have like multiple. You'll have multiple people with their 890s, kind of like the 890 group, kind of hanging together, and then you'll see all these people flying in formation around it.
No. What you're going to just see is loads of screenshots of the 890 jump landed, and then there'll be a little like meme thing going around saying "add your own water," like a boat. So just literally just different places, little lake. Put your own water in, and there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all.
It'll be the poster boy for, because it's people aren't really interested, like you said.
Size matters, folks. Size matters when it comes to Star Citizen.
Oh yeah. So well, for me, the main thing, the thing that I like about the 890 more than the ship itself, really, is the fact that it's the first capital shipping game. That for me is like, you were saying like Book about them not being able to fit it. They were saying about they've reached the limit of assets and stuff. Well, obviously the 890 must be that one that they were talking about that makes it so that it reaches the physical limit, because I can't imagine
that's if it goes in 3.6.
It's on the roadmap.
Yeah. Because everything on the roadmap definitely stays in the patch that it's supposed to be in.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
They're in a situation where the A90 could get pushed to the next patch because they've already got a brand new concept ship ready to go that's going in, which is the Banu. So yeah, of course they could easily push the
Banu was almost supposed to have been, which clearly by the ATV isn't, but it was almost ready to come in on the patch we just had. So yeah, I'm sure the 890 jump is just on the verge of being done, ready to go in.
Yeah.
Gotta have faith, guys. Gotta have faith.
Missfires had the best.
Gotta have faith.
Missfires had the best quote. Oh my god! Honestly, I loved. I watched his thing and he summarized. I think he summarized RTV. I think it was, or whatever the equivalent of that show is. And he talks about. I think it was Todd Pappy talked about something. Oh shit! What did he say? Something about is going to greatly improve the game or something. And then he, in the most driest manner that ever manageable, the most driest comment, he goes, and it's on the roadmap, 0 of 21 tasks completed. And I just was like, I was rolling on the fucking floor because it just sums up so much in my head, my frustrations and disappointment sometimes with Star Citizen is because they do so much fucking talking and then it's like on the roadmap at like nothing, it's that whole, this is going to be the greatest thing ever, it's going to change the world, and it's like, it's 0. If it was so
it's
great,
just like, well, you wouldn't want us to put it in if it's not ready now, would you? So let's, come on. It's going to go in the next patch when it'll be much more polished and it'll make a much bigger impact than this patch where it was almost done. It was on the verge of being done, but now we're going to have another 4 months before we put it in. But it was on the verge of being done. Really close. Really close.
It's one of those, like, I really wanted to just trim it and put it on the show. It's so beautifully done. And I don't know if he did it deliberately or if, like, 'cause it's so dry. You know what I mean? It's like it's done with Missfires, just like facts. But it's like, I almost feel like it's almost like Spock. When Spock kind of like he's like, and Kirk goes, was that some
emotions?
That kind of some emotion. It's that kind of like, it's like he's like kind of trying to say bullshit, but it's not really, but he can. It's brilliant.
Oh, chat's quite making me laugh. It's all these amazing quotes that we had from the RTV this week, which is just like doesn't make sense. If it's a priority, doesn't mean it's going to be prioritized.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't mean I was like,
it doesn't.
Slippery snakes. They just constantly slime their way out of every opportunity, anything that will lock them down. You can't. They're like Teflon. You just shit.
But this is. I mean, the other one, the Vikings talking about. I've tried this with the wife. It doesn't work. I've been doing a lot of stuff, but it's just you can't see it. You can't see it at the moment. It's going to be a surprise when it's done. It's like it's in reality. It's not on the roadmap, but we're doing it. We're doing it, and we're working on it. And there's lots of people working on stuff, but you can't see it. I'm just saying. Okay, so just believe in it. You'll know it's there, but we're not going to put it on the roadmap because we don't want to put pressure on the people, the developers. We're just, and that's yeah. That's what I say to her when she comes in. What have you been fucking doing all day? Oh, I've been doing lots of stuff. You just can't see it. It's that invisible task. They don't buy it. I don't know why they don't buy it.
See on the task board here, like when you said to me you wanted me to do the
I was prioritizing.
I'm currently prioritizing now on this month. 3.5 of the tasks are. I'm at 0 of 21 tasks, but don't worry. This new task that I've got is going to make sure that task is super easy. I'm at 0 of 21 of that one as well, but don't worry, it's fine. I've got but the task that I have done, which is tracks. So like my computer desk here, which is really important. I've managed to do 19 of the 19 tasks, so that I have a nice new microphone and I have all the things that I want. Makes everything look visually beautiful. That's all done. You want, babe? Yeah. Maybe next patch. Maybe in the next couple of months. Is that it wouldn't go down very well. I can assure you guys. I agree with me. That's dope, dude. We should do a sketch. We should do some sketch. I've been thinking about this the other day. We could do some quality fucking sketches and like just comical, like shred the shit out of it, like just because of the. It's just so easy. Like some of it is just like some of those memes that they put up.
They give it to you.
So easy. The sketches are just hilarious. Oh, anyway, Wavarium, rockets. I always thought about the other one. I could do a Chris Roberts one talking about the rocket thing. I was just like, so funny. We cannot use engines and rockets in real life as an example for our technology. Now, if you look at this article, the ASMR rocket, this is how we this is our inspiration for the engine moving.
They did something like that just recently as well. There's something I kept thinking, you just said you're not looking at that, but we're looking at it, and it's like, well, you just said no.
Like, look over here, look over here, look at the hand, 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 look at the hand. We're going over here now. Look at the spaceship, look at the spaceship, look at the spaceship, look at the spaceship, look at the spaceship. Oh, I love it. I just love it. It's such a saga. It's beautiful. We're all going to look back on it. We'll be playing an amazing game, and this will all be fun memories. We can talk about it.
Fun memories. So, talking of SC Live, not the game live, the program live that's like SC, but it's like RTV, but not RTV, but it is RTV. Anyway, that one, right?
Yep.
So the first thing they were talking about was VoIP and the status of VoIP, and apparently people aren't using it, funnily enough.
Funny that. It's kind of like,
Why? And so the question was kind of like, why aren't people using it?
Because of Discord. It works really well. I've been using it for a long time. It's hard to get people off stuff that works quite well, and there's no problem. And they built their own for 4 years. Have built up a relate. Like that was always going to be hard. How are you going to get people off of using a private audio thing where they just can talk to the people that they like? What do you? I mean, like only for RPing, like.
So this is what kind of made me laugh is that he turned around and said that. It was sort of saying, why aren't people using it? And I think this was another one. He goes, well, I don't use it. He goes, when I play a game and I group up with strangers, I don't use VoIP. And it's like, you want us all to use it.
Whole,
Your first response was, I don't actually use VoIP when I join a group in game. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. No, it's not for everyone, in my opinion.
Buck, do you use VoIP?
No.
Have you ever used
Do you have any intention of using VoIP?
What madness then? If somehow we can get to role play, or there's this thing, I will always be on Discord, but if there's just a person walking around, a real player, and I want to get his attention or want to ask him something, then I have to use that. But that's basically it. For your party, no, just Discord.
I think most people will probably use it like I would probably use it to be like kind of like, oi, you, look what you're wearing. Where'd you get that from? Microtech, you fucking.
Yeah, you get all that crap, and you would just mute the hell out of it.
That would be a whole thing. Or someone playing music really loud, or whatever. You'll just you'll get like that will happen pretty quickly. Or people going around, going, do you know the way? Like quantum jump, quantum jump, quantum jump, quantum jump, quantum jump.
Are we nearly there yet? Are we nearly there yet? Are we nearly there yet? No, you've got another 10 minutes. Are we nearly there yet? But no, I think there's obviously, like everything, there's issues with it at the moment, and it's not running as smoothly as it could be. I do think it has a place, definitely, as Buck says, if you can talk to people, because there's obviously your Discord is going to be your close knit of friends and your org and stuff, but there's always going to be other people that you, or at least hopefully randomly meet and you want to talk to. And so I do think it has a place for at least that. I think if it's working well enough, then you could potentially get rid of Discord and just use it in-game if you're meeting up and stuff. The problem is sometimes you have people that aren't playing currently that will join in. Now, they're trying to do the Spectrum integration, I think, so that would alleviate that as well. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't say
also
no.
2-3
I wouldn't
years
say
ago.
you wouldn't necessarily convert over. It's just that whether it actually happens. And I think the other reason people aren't using it is by default it's off as well. So people don't
Yeah.
even necessarily know it's there. Like you put any feature off by default, it's going
And
to
it's
already
quite hidden.
Yeah, it's going to automatically cut people out of it because it's like, oh, I didn't realize it was there, or where do I even find it? So it's definitely oh God, mighty I use ICQ still.
Can I get the paperclip? That's what I want back again. Just bring me the paper.
So yeah, I think with improvements, it's definitely got a place. It's definitely gonna. I don't know. I hope that it'll still get used. There's definitely cool features of it about being able to hear people with different positions from around you and all that sort of stuff. So
It's cool, but it's just like the current cities stale.
stale.
After
Oh,
a time.
I still use the landline. I call my best mate. One, and then I ring him up, and they'd be like, "Right, hang on, mate. How you doing? Hang on, one hand. Where are you in the game at the moment? Oh yeah, no, that's right. I'm a art corp as well, buddy. Where about you? Yeah, nice one, dude. Did anyone else remember doing that? That was the way I used to game multiplayer sometimes. Or you'd be like, you wait for the, you'd have to spend like, you'd kill someone, and you'd be like, quick, bring up chat, typing for about 40 seconds, trying to like claim the win. Yeah. Memories, good times, good times. And your mum would be on the other
Don't
line.
mock Roger Wilco. Roger Wilco was a class piece of software. Oh, I used all those things, all of them.
Good shit.
So shareable missions. This is where a bit of salt comes in, unfortunately.
Shareable missions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go for it. Go on. No, was this Todd? We were going about the Todd.
We're still on the SC live thing.
Oh, Todd, love this. Was funny, man. This was carry on.
So basically, we're not going to get shareable missions in 3.6. So I mean that is it. That's all he said. I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it was quite short.
It's just a bit of a shame, a bit annoying because it's one of the things like we said we tried to do this time, and like there's a lot of people that play the game solo and they're quite happy, and the quests seem to work fine. Quests, missions, whatever you want to call them, seem to work fine. And people are managing to do stuff. But I personally am definitely more of a multiplayer type of game, and I like playing with other people and grouping up and trying to do missions together. And we're going to give it another try. Like we said, it's not just like one time, forget it. But it was pretty bad, and it was pretty non-existent. We couldn't do group missions and group content with so many bugs, and so it's disappointing that it's going to be yet another patch with that not in. But yeah.
I mean that's just garbage. Like it's just so disappointing. I mean it's garbage. It's so disappointing. They're more than capable of getting so many other bits in, and it's so frustrating. Like the bits that you kind of want that are going to add more playability and more gameplay and more fun generally for most people. They talk about that quality of life that they spoke about last year that we want desperately, and they it's still not happening, and it must be a resource thing is all I can think of. The way I look at it is the guys who are building the code and all of this are probably just balls deep in Squadron 42 stuff, and this was having
they blame a lot of it on UI as well, because besides that, I don't know how big the UI team is, but obviously the UI hits so well pretty much every aspect of the game, and so if the UI is not ready, the feature's not going to be ready. And I think that happens a lot.
But that's getting a massive overhaul though for 3.6, the UI, from what I understand, and the user interfaces and everything else. Like they talked about, didn't he talk about like the contact lens and then the helmet and then like Bluetooth shit?
7 different layers of HUDs.
There's like all the different layers and stuff. I mean, that's not going to go wrong, is it? Let's be honest. That's already gave me the willies when I was thinking about that. I was like, oh my God, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Another, we're going to get like multiple layers are going to be stuck over the top of things to be like, I'm blind. We had the body bug. The body bug is going to make a return, but it's going to be the HUD bug where you'll have 12 different HUDs in front of you, like 6 deep.
Well, that's kind of what they're saying, isn't it? Is that the issue is like integrating everything, having a HUD integrate with your ship's computer. So it's like you don't have all the information so many times over.
God, yeah. So again, it just shows the level of complexity that they're going to build the game, and why this shit always seems to break, and why we're in alpha, and why we test it, and all that stuff. So,
I mean, yeah, it's like anything. It's like when you like, and I've been painting the house. You know, you have to do the process. So this has to come first, I guess, and then we'll get the mission part. It will come next, hopefully. But my biggest grumble sometimes is that shit gets pushed and then like it disappears. You know what I mean? It hits the Bermuda.
Yeah.
It just vanishes out of the Bermuda Triangle. Then everyone forgets about it, and then somebody like 6 months later goes, "Hey, do you remember like kind of like oh yeah, I forgot about because it's
Or it goes in the game and then disappears.
yeah
Because once it's
yeah.
in there, it's like,
Right.
we've delivered it, and then they take it out, and everyone forgets that it's been taken out after a few months. It's like, but didn't we have a feature for this? Oh yeah, that's gone.
Like distance when something's close to you, there was like it would give you an audible to tell you that there was something near you or something approaching you, like a warning. That's gone now, supposedly. Someone said to me, "No, that's not actually in game. That like disappeared very quietly."
What you mean, like my freaking car when I reverse? It's like, beep, 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 beep. I'm nowhere near the fucking. Okay, maybe that was.
Yeah, maybe you were. Yeah, it's that there was. I think there was an audible warning, and is now gone supposedly. I was reading on Reddit, and somebody was saying that it was it's gone. It'll probably come back again, but it's been taken away. So there's scenarios where they take stuff.
Wasn't that when your computers told you there was something like warning proximity? But that was fucking annoying.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Constantly, I don't miss that. It's like,
probably because some people were flying a little dangerous, Miz. That's why you're constantly a little bit too close to things you shouldn't have been.
That's how you're supposed to fly. You know, all these videos of everybody doing the canyon hops and spins. You wouldn't be able to do that because you'd be just going, by the way, you're a little bit close to the ground there. Oh, yeah, please don't keep turning around. Oh, no, don't. Stop. You are close to the... Look, I'm just going to put a permanent warning on. You are in close proximity to everything.
I would be happy if it was Jessica Rabbit. Is all I'm saying. Give me the Jessica Rabbit alert, the warning alert. That would be, that would be quite good. I'd be happy for her to be my alert warning. That would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. Just change the voice up. And
most people probably want Tessa.
Tessa's pretty good too. Tessa's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what Jessica looks like. I don't know what 10-ton Tessa looks like. So,
she looks very special.
Oh, my dreams.
She's actually very pretty, I believe, in real life. The woman that does the voice. So, what are we talking? Because we've gone so far off.
I honestly have no idea.
It's like one of those missiles. Way off target. Way off topic. You're talking about. Oh, do you know? Didn't Todd though? Oh shit! He was talking about something which was like hilarious. Like he made me chuckle as well.
What unicorns?
Oh.
So there was talk on the law system, although he didn't bother because it wasn't really his field.
Yeah. No, it was. It was to do with
travel time.
Travel times. That was the one. He was talking about travel times. That favorite, really hot topic on Reddit, and he was saying something which I was like, that's dope in terms of like, that's what I want. He was saying, you'll get, in a quantum jump, you'll be given like something will come up in your computer, your AI computer will talk to you and say, Dave, there's an anomaly like alien style, do you want to go and explore? Do you want to go and understand what's going on and stuff like that? And I was like, sick, that's awesome. That's what I wanted for ages. Do that. That's amazing. And don't give me interdiction. Just give me that. The ability to choose if I want to go and, investigate it, or not. Or, give me a warning maybe to say, hey, someone's tracking us. You need to boost the engine power up, 30, 40, 50%. We could potentially, overheat or whatever, but we need to try and outrace the people or something. Just add a bit of tension to the scenario where you could potentially outrace the people that are tracking you or stuff. That would be kind of exciting rather than just being whipped out of into interdiction and stuff. Give you a little bit of like, oh shit, and give you like a cool little bar and you have to kind of race against it. And if you fail, they can pull you out of interdiction.
So like Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, exactly like that. I haven't played Elite Dangerous, so I don't know. I'm just spitballing. But that's cool. But then again, I put my hat on, my madness salty hat, and it showered me with salt, and I went, oh, here we go again. I'm falling for it again. The talk of this great, complicated, immersive,
just a pitch as well.
pitching a great thing, and I could just see everybody's eyes like, I mean, mine, my heart, my eyes, like my inner 80s kid getting super hyped and excited for this. And I was like, woo! And I was like, and then they'll show me a cool ship that will do all this, and then a new scanning thing, and I'll be like, throw money at it, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. This is more of the same garbage again. Just talk. Okay, that's great. Do it. That's literally like when in my head I went, that's great. Make it happen. That's perfect. Just make it happen. So that's my done. I know I talk a lot, but I'm like, brilliant. Make it happen. I don't want to hear about it anymore, Todd. Anyone else that's here, just make it happen. Make it fun. Make it
so.
Make one to do it. If that's what you're saying you're going to do it and make it a priority and get it done.
I mean, when he first started talking about it, just kind of made me laugh because it was back to the whole. He was like, "So if you're in a bigger ship, you're gonna have things to do." Because you'll be multi-crew and you'll have things to do, and there'll be all sorts of things that you'll be able to get up to. It's like you keep saying things. Yeah. Well, what does that even mean? It's like I got things to do when I'm sitting here. I can pick my nose, smack myself on the face. There's
healing things. You'll be like repairing things.
Did he really say that though? He just kept saying there'll be things.
Disco said it,
Yeah, I know, but it just made me laugh. First of all, it's just the way he was talking about it. It's like trying to think of, travel times are amazing because you're going to have things to do, and it's like I've got nothing to tell you of what that would be. And then it's like it goes into the whole like as a single ship, you're not going to have any of those things to do, so you're going to be a little bit stuck on what you're going to do for your lovely long travel times, but it'll all be fine. But it's again, I mean, what worries me a little bit is like towards the end, he kind of said, so Chris wants it to be like the movies. And like we've said this so many times that the movies are just to let you know are a 3-hour long program and travel time is normally condensed into probably about 2 minutes on a movie. Like you don't see the travel time for a reason. There's little bits of travel time that you see when they go and bash the computer and repair it, but it's not what they do. And it's like
chess. We're talking about they played chess and the Wookiee did the thing and it looked amazing. And then Luke trained to become like an amazing Jedi. And like, I mean, I didn't see Rey training with the freaking thing down. Come on, let's be honest. They did the training thing and clearly that time space there, like that's what we need. We need that little device that kind of hovers around and we can go running around our spaceships, kind of pretending and practicing. That's what I'm talking about. Like that's no, it's trash, dude. Let's be honest. Come on, it's more of the same. It's like Chris's dream of making a game, a film. It's like
I think that's it. It's this kind of crossover of a film game, and it's the films have been made specifically to have cinematic moments, and yeah, it's like I don't know.
The thing is, you've got to remember, like, and I'm sure you must know this. Is like there's a repetition in a game, and like not being funny, but like unless
you don't do that travel you don't see Han Solo doing that travel every time he jumps his ship somewhere. This is the 20th game of chess they've had because.
Could you imagine? I don't know. We had to see like Luke Skywalker train every time. Do the same thing all the time. It'd be like, okay, cool, I get it. There's a power of like, oh, okay, I understand. He's learning on this trip, and that's probably explains. Yeah, it's just, yeah, yeah. But it's just what?
So everyone's just telling me I'm turning into pixels. It's great. I've got a feeling my internet connection's not brilliant either. No, it's nothing to do with autofocus. On my screen, I'm perfect. It's just so we're using this light stream thing to stream with, and it's I don't know. It seems to not like my own connection. Everyone else is beautiful; they're wonderful, but mine it shits itself and doesn't like it.
You are, yeah, Myra, you're perfect, Miss. You look great.
You're perfect the way you are. It's just Wreck-It Ralph style cam. It's all good.
Yo, what's up, HC? Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you, anyone, by the way, for everyone coming in at Mighty Wrath and all the usual crews and all the raids. We do apologize. We don't obviously do shout outs because obviously don't want to interrupt too much the stream, but we're all on it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's awesome. Whoa.
So we're better now. I'll just be a grey blob. Perfect. So
Yeah.
that was that travel time. We won't go too much on that. We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty more of the same.
So there was the shield effects
Yeah.
being less bubbly.
I'm again.
Oh, chat's working on the stream now. What the fuck? That wasn't working before.
I'm looking.
Oh, it is working.
I was looking forward to the shields. I have to say, I'm looking forward to how the shields work and seeing the improved, like, because they're now skin based, aren't they? They're literally almost on the surface. Some things. I think that was from what I understand.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have holes in the ships, which is going to be really interesting to see. Us all testing to see how true this is. Because I trust everyone will test it hard. So I'm hoping there are no holes. That's going to make some of these fights quite interesting. I'm going to say the least.
It's going to be also fun to see how they will resolve it with the whole series. How they will fit a shield around that.
Yeah, like that's a good one actually. Like how maybe the whole all the stuff will be on the outside.
Yeah, one big bubble. I don't know. It's interesting to see how they will resolve it because it's.
I'm interested to see the hull generally.
Yeah, definitely.
Like seriously, I'm like they started that like last year. I think it was. I remember seeing. I think it was the beginning of last year. Animations for that, and it, closing in on itself and everything. And I was like, oh wow, okay, the hull's looking pretty close to being here. And then it's like a year later, and it's like, oh, where is it? What's happened? And they're like, well, major problems with docking and stuff. So yeah, well, hopefully when they bring in the all these new derelict stations and stuff, and the docking stations, I believe, and things. So maybe it'd be kind of cool to bring it in game, Sergio, even if it's not working. Just leave it lying around or something. Have a whole NPCs flying around and stuff. Would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, they'll get there eventually. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Missfires. Did you want to talk about that? Because I know that was your favorite subject last week.
He's having a misfire in his head at the moment.
I just like it's great, damn it. Yeah. Just of all the things to bring in right now, why bring something in that's deliberately breaking things? Like
because then it can break
yeah, it's like you can justify things not worrying. It's like, oh well, it was the misfiring. It's like I get the degradation aspect. I think that's kind of dope. The fact that ships are going to look more old than they are. That means that we'll hopefully get brand new reclaimers, and then they'll all look really shiny and new, and then they'll slowly start to look like the ones that they have now in game. That's the way I look at it. So it's the same with all the ships. 300s. Like can't wait to see like a really knackered out looking 300 series or whatever else. But yeah, I just kind of like what. It's just such a dumb. It's like there's common sense. I feel like I just want to go around. Like literally, I'm going to go around with VoIP, going common sense, and just annoy the shit out of like literally, like just it's just no.
Yeah, it's not one of the mechanics I would have put in front to be released first in the next month.
Yeah, like if chat here had to choose, if I told you now you get misfire or you get the ability to multi-share your missions and make money multi-missions, whatever it was. What was it called, Miz? They dropped?
The just shareable missions.
Yeah.
Shareable missions, yeah. So if you could choose between misfire and shareable missions, I could tell you straight away which one I would definitely want.
Misfire all the way.
100%.
I love it when my ship breaks. Love it. When I put the overheating in, it was like the best feature ever.
Exactly. Which one would you want? Who the fuck is misfiring in that? No one. Other than people that go, immersion! Like, no, dude.
So, I mean, I don't want it in yet, but actually when he was talking about it, it was at least a little bit interesting in terms of it's going to be so that I kind of like the idea behind how the ship repair things are going to work. No, not the misfire, but like the same way as it's like when it gets damaged, like if you keep running your part till the fact that it's like almost knackered and then try and repair it. It's nowhere near going to get repaired as much as if you maybe go and repair it before it takes that much damage. So it's like how much you keep forcing the engines or something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the whole technique that lies behind it, but yeah, just like everybody says and thinks, don't put it into the game right now. But yeah, probably Squadron 42 has something to do with it.
Do you think so?
No, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to.
I don't find it a logical choice, but
because like we're repairing. Sorry, go on, keep going.
No, that's it.
I was going to say because like I can see repairing stuff in the Star Citizen universe, but it kind of feels a bit redundant in Squadron 4. I mean, it might be what they put in, but you'd sort of feel what's the point? Like because it's all more military based. You imagine you're going to land on the hangar and they're going to repair your ship to make sure you're prepared for the next mission. Not, I know you're doing this mission for the military, but go and fix your own ship.
Do we have the multi-tool now ability to repair our shit as well? So, for example, you could potentially repair your ship to a point where it doesn't misfire, or are you now having to go and fly to the truck stops or whatever they are to be able to have to do the
You can
repairing?
probably do a certain amount of repairing
I think it will
before.
go both ways.
Does it work like that? Does anyone know if that's going to be a thing? The multi-tool is going to able to repair your past the point where you get misfires? Like I think there's too many. We know there are too many. Like, look at it. Look at that auto aim garbage. As soon as they added anything new with coding and all that other thing, fucking targeting went to shit. It literally went down the toilet. You could have flushed targeting down the toilet. You know, the minute that they added anything new. You add anything new. 3.0. Look at all the mess. It took them 7-8 months to figure out how to untangle all the knots. Generally, to a point where they could put anything realistically new in. You drop misfiring into it, I guarantee it. It's just going to be just another pile of issues, you know. And we're not going to know, is that misfiring or is that the game mechanic? Is that
It's a freaking bug.
It's just like, is it a bug? Oh, it's a bug. And you'll have 20 people telling it's a bug, and you'll have 20 other people telling you it's a misfire.
I mean, that is one of the things when you start adding that sort of stuff in. It's like you're battling then between bug or feature.
Oh, it's gonna be fun on the issue council.
It's like,
I think I have a bug.
Yeah, because someone was mentioning that about the bounty hunter missions. It was one of the things I was doing with Madness, and it was like not showing any location. I don't know whether it's at BritterSonCon or one of the devs was talking, and then they told me and said, "Oh no, it's actually that you have to have some of the com links on so that it would show the location."
Yeah.
And so everyone's saying it was a bug because they couldn't see it. It's like, it's not a bug. It's just that the com link's not on. But the problem is it doesn't tell you anything like that. So it doesn't even give you a rough, like there's lots of com links. There's lots of com links everywhere. So it doesn't actually tell you where to even look. So, I mean, even if it said it was last seen in ArcCorp, you could at least go and turn the com links on around ArcCorp.
In fact, it should show you an icon in your HUD, like a little radar icon that you have actually a link to the com link.
Yeah.
And if it's not there or with a cross in it, then it's down, and you have to put on the com link first to get your markers.
I mean, I don't need hand holding, but it's like when you don't give us, like, space is fucking big, right? It's
Really?
you're just going to turn and say, go bounty hunting. It's like, okay, so we're just going to just fly and randomly turn every com link, because you don't even know which com links are on or off either. There should at least be a way so you know whether the com links are on or not. And then we flew to a com link, and then I couldn't do anything with it because it said I needed a pass key. Is that a new thing? I don't remember ever needing a pass key before. So how do you get the pass key?
Yeah.
So how do you get the pass key?
You need to do something that I've never done. Actually, read up on all the missions and do them properly. You know, it's like, well, that's what you have to do. You have to do it properly.
Well, the bounty hunting says nothing about getting. Well, the bounty hunting mission doesn't tell you that you need to put comms on, and then it doesn't tell you that you need a pass key to go and put those comms on.
Look, let's be honest. Like, again, I mean, the missions are broken. We all know this. I think if anyone knows, there are some that work kind of okay. There's some that don't. It's like, I swear to God, it's like spinning a roulette wheel. You know, it's like today, this mission will work. Today, this mission will work. Okay, now this one did kind of work, but then it broke halfway through. So it's just a roulette wheel of kind of good fortune or whatever. Some missions that generally tend to work more consistently than others, but for some reason, if the server's taking a shit or something's
If
happening,
it's a Tuesday,
yeah, or your mate's in the ship with you and he's decided that he wants to fly the ship, on your behalf, and he's deaded all the HUD or whatever. There's just so many. There's just so many things, and I don't want to beat up on the bug side of things. My point is for misfiring, there's so many bugs in your game right now, and you're throwing in something that's deliberately making things not work. That just seems genuinely, to a normal sane person, seems pretty crazy. Like genuinely, I would kind of go dial it down the level of bugs a little bit more before you try and implement this. Some people might say, hey, do you know what? Throw it all in now and throw it in the mix and see where you go, and then I'm like, seems a bit crazy to me, but whatever. At the end of the day, I'm not.
what do we know?
What do we know? All I know is I've predicted quite a few things generally over the last couple of times that are going to be a hot steaming pile of mess, and most of them seem to be kind of coming for true. Like some of the things are wrong, but like I just like predicted joust fighting.
Joust fighting's fucking here, hardcore, and it is boring as shit. Right,
let's move on. Next.
Magic.
Was there anything else?
Oh, we got the Harvestable entities.
Oh yeah, this is great. I love this. This is
awesome. In, but you can't
awesome gameplay. This is great. Actual gameplay, something interesting and new, and like this is dope. Like I love this. This is great with the ability to pick up teddies and turtles and all sorts of other things. This is great. I'm all for this. Well, it depends if you can make turtle soup or whatever, in the game. But genuinely, I'm all for this. I think this is great. So the more of this and like, farming and things, this is what we want. Like to be able to go to explore these planets now. And if they can actually put the harvestable goods on the trees and, harvestable things like, minerals and to be able to pick up and stuff, that's great. That makes exploration a thing, more of a thing, there's like, that's cool to me. And if they can make the scanning so you can scan for these things as well, that would be kind of nice.
That will be 5.2.
I think. Yeah. There's a lot of games out there at the moment that have those gameplay functionalities in them with very, very small teams. Is all I'm going to say. Maybe not with the high level of complexity of Star Citizen, but they does seem that they're not. There doesn't feel like it's overly complicated game mechanics to have. But I guess maybe in Star Citizen it is because of the scale.
It's like I said, I think some of it's not necessarily that the things that we're talking about are overly complicated for them to do. It's having the team to do it. So it's like I said, if it's a lot of things are linked to UI. If the UI is too busy working on, say, Squadron 42 assets, getting that UI to work, they can't then make the UI for the scanning mechanic on the scanning machine. Yeah. And so I think that's kind of, there's like bottlenecks in the development. Yeah. There's bits where they can only go so far, and then they can't develop it further until the next team catches up. And I think UI has been a big issue for them for a long time. They've said that it's because it touches so many elements. Everything you want to get changed then has to go through UI to basically implement that. And I think that's probably what's causing a lot of these so-called easy things to fix. We're not getting probably,
but it's a step for me in a good direction, and it's nice to have them in, and anything that's going to be able to add a little bit of something fun to do. I mean, to go gather things. Like I know a lot of people have made a lot of fun out of the habitats and like gathering stuff and drugs and putting them in their habitats and stuff like that. I think this will be a similar sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing more about it. Hopefully we'll get a inside Star Citizen preview about it a bit more, or whatever, about the Harvestable as we get closer to 3.6, which comes out. When does 3.6 come out, by the way?
Yeah, but Todd also said the tech will be in for Harvestable entities, but it will not be really usable in 3.6.
See, they say this, and it's always just so disappointing, isn't it? It's like they build you to here, they take you to this place where you just go, you get super excited, and then they undercut it and say, and then you're left going, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? And
As long as we can't see their real schedules and
There you go. Squadron 42 is what they say. They hold
backlog
the t-shirt.
and whatever they all have.
You mean those secret things that are not on the roadmap that they're all working on and not letting us know? Surprises.
They have
Tech
internally
Tech makes
huge
gameplay,
lists
Phantom.
like this.
You know that. Any new tech makes gameplay, I assure you. Anything new, turtles, suddenly gameplay. Let's go find the space turtles. Suddenly anything at the moment, because there's people are so starved for some sort of gameplay, they'll make anything out of something. I assure you. Literally anything.
We can go teddy gathering. And we can have teddy bear picnic in the woods.
We'll have misfiring dog, racing. They'll be like racing things where people will be like,
Oh, they did on the pod racing, pod thing in Star Wars when they're doing pod racing. You had misfire engines on that and things blowing up. It's
and misfiring.
Immersion.
Can you wait? Can't wait.
And then there was chat about customs is not going to be active in 3.6. Why the Corsair over the Connie? Just don't even go there, madness. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Get him some oxygen.
The reality is 3.5 has been a hot mess and they got tons of stuff to fix, and 3.6 is going to it's so late because they had to do PTU was, people forget, PTU was really long for a PTU patch, and the new flight model and everything else, it's just it's done the same thing again. It's just shoved all of this, so much of 3.6 will get moved into 3.7 and much of 3.7 will get moved into 3.8, and then it will be the same scenario at the end of the year where we'll be like, woo, loads of stuff, but actually a lot of stuff has been moved to the next year and stuff. It's like
what you get with your quarterly releases.
yeah, but it's and it'd be even when they are tempered, it's still, I think it's still slow, and it's really slow. You know what I mean? Like it's really, really slow. And I was just like thinking to myself, I was going, this game's going to be being made for a very long time at this pace. Like, I mean, a really long time. Like, I was thinking like 10 years the other day, and I'm going, could it? Like, this is really, just really slow. It's just, I think every season, every patch, they probably lose about 20-30% of what they said they're going to put in it. And that then gets shoved into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 30% gets shoved into the next one and that one.
Yeah.
And then let's just say they keep adding that little 10% on top of each one of those. It's like, whoa, that suddenly becomes, you've lost in a whole year, within the space of no time, like within 1 year or whatever, you've maybe lost 6 months worth of stuff. And then within a year and a half, you're down 2 years, 2-3 years behind schedule. And wow.
But they have to make it back up at some point.
They do. I think that everyone keeps saying the hope is obviously, when Squadron 42 is done, then that's when, all hands on deck and race to the finish line and all the rest of it. And I kind of go,
I don't think so.
Yes, I see.
I'm kind of curious.
And no, I
Squadron
don't
42 is
care.
being released in 3 chapters. They're not going to just pull everybody off of that and then go on to Star Citizen. You're still going to have people working on Squadron 42, Chapter 2, Chapter 3 to get those out. So yeah, it's not going to be this magic. All of a sudden, all the development team are going to be working on Star Citizen. It might help a bit. They probably won't put as much resources on Squadron, but there's definitely going to be resources put on it.
Well, if it's a big success, they'll have to, because people will be lining up. I assure you, with the hot mess of PU, if it stays like this. I'm not saying it will. Let's just say it's hypothetically it stays in alpha like it is now, heavily on bugs. The experience that people who fell in love with Squadron 42, they might go, yeah, I will come back for the second chapter. Do you know what I mean? So then Star Citizen will be like, oh, there's a bankroll that, and then it'll be like, we need, it's a huge success. Like Witcher 2. I mean, how long between Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 came out, and Witcher 3? I mean, I don't know. Someone can tell me, but between Witcher 1 and Witcher 2, that's the way I look at it. Like in theory, people will be saying, well, the assets are made. The engines.
Oh, you're definitely going to need. They can't afford to leave the gap between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 too long, and say to people, "Oh, you've got Star Citizen." That's not kind of how it works.
No, it's not going to cut it.
So, I this whole kind of like miracle sudden time will be clawed back again. I don't think so. I think that's it. It's gone. In my head, I'm going, that's it. It's gone. The time is gone. It's gone. Goodbye. See you later. Ain't coming back.
Look what you did, Madness. You even got Rolokip enjoying your renting.
Oh,
Happy to see you here, Rolo.
Dialogue. It's
Yeah.
dialogue. It's a happy dialogue. I'm not being salty. I'm just being.
You know what I think? It would be really awesome, and it's not gonna happen, to spend just one day in between the devs in their office to see what's going on there. And I think you will be surprised how fucking busy they are with all kinds of stuff.
I'll go.
Playing pool and table hockey and
No.
They're playing D&D on the pool table in the office.
yeah, I saw that.
I'll be just walking around, being like, "Get in! What are you doing?" Shoving them back to this desk again.
If I look at my own job and all the different departments and teams and shit, and we are not even having the amount of people that CIG is having, and it's not really that large, 540 people, but the things that go wrong,
I know how hard it is.
miscommunication.
I worked in TV and film. I've got friends who work in the game industry. I've got mates who work in the film industry. I know how many hours they work. I know how hard it is. Doesn't mean that I'm still not going to give them out. I'm not going to give them easy, man. That's too. You don't give them easy. What the hell? It's unfair. Come on, get on with it now. I don't need to do that. They usually have somebody that does that in the office. That's how it works, especially in the film. They have actually a person that goes around and actually watches your desk and checks what you've done.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, it's not like our wives turn around and say, "Oh, we'll give it to you easy because we know you're working hard." That doesn't. They don't go easy on us just because they know. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It's not like, "Oh, okay, well, not be nasty to him. He's worked really hard today. So why the fuck haven't you done this and this? You could have done both. If you finished it that early, you could have done this thing."
Like, if they said on the desk, they wouldn't. I'd be like, "Come on, guys, let's go play some pool. Let's do it, boys." I would be the worst person to be sitting in the office. I'd be like, why is everyone so stressed? What's going on?
Yeah.
We're making computer games. What the fuck is wrong with you? People out there are paying you money, 34 million a year, 34 million a year, and you ain't done shit. This is the easiest job in the world. What are you complaining about? You don't have to do anything.
You just have to like make the little arm move and make him wave. What's your problem? What's your problem?
The UI guys just fucked it up.
What are you doing? You'd be like, literally, the guy's like, "Oh, we've got a game mechanic, Madness. I've done this movie." No, put it away. Put that game mechanic away. We don't need that game mechanic.
We want visuals, and visuals. That's all we want. Give us like photorealistic views.
Some guys go through. Look, Madness, I've got tracks for the Vanguard. Perfect. Roll through. You're perfect. Just roll through with that. That's what we need. Get that in 2.6. Get that in. I've got Missfires, Madness. Yep, bring it on. We need Missfires. We need that in game. Bring it in. Yeah. I've got like a multiplayer like crew. No, you can go back. Go back to your desk. Start again. Do it again. We don't need that. That's wrong. No, I've got a massive concept ship that's like $900. Yes, come on, you come in and you're in.
How much is that concept worth? No. We're bigger. Think bigger. Send it back. Come back bigger.
More money.
You want twice the price.
Absolutely. Oh my god. Oh, so much fun. Honestly, I told you we should do sketches.
It was quite funny because someone just mentioned the turtles in the chat, and that's one of the things that they put these turtles in the game, and then for like a week we had nothing but photos, like screenshots of people holding these turtles. So they took them out again. It's like,
are they out?
Too much fun. They took the turtles.
I haven't even seen one turtle.
Why are they taking the turtles away?
Because it's fun. You can't have fun in Star Citizen. They have to take it out.
It's not in yet.
Okay, the Todd thing was brilliant. I do. I mean, I genuinely though, like Book, you're absolutely right. I'd love to go hang out in the offices. I'd love to meet I think it would be funny. You'd probably go into the room where like the canteen areas, and you'd see the hit list of streamers who they hate with dartboard. Malfiest passes that they all hate.
I think you were on top.
Get rid of that one.
No, I think there's worse than me. I assure you.
That's why my game never works. It's like, we've seen your podcast. Screw you guys. Your game is never going to work.
It's going to fail. We'll put them in this server because this server's failing. There you go. Madness every time. No, I would love to go though. It would be great. It would be awesome. I think anyone should go. I think at some point, I'm hoping maybe if I could get up for CitizenCon, I'm sure there'll be some sort of tours going on at CitizenCon this year. I'd love to try and do it and get taken around and see, you know, the charade. I mean, the real the way they work and how everything's working really well.
Yeah.
See those empty
Or not.
offices. Those empty.
The cardboard cutouts, you know, it'd be like the Home Alone, you know, when he's got like one guy with string pretending to pull the feet.
In front of the windows, light on.
No, you can't go past that door, I'm
Yeah.
afraid. You've got to sign this NDA first. It's like all the people that signed NDA know there's no one working.
Yeah.
One guy with string just pulling it. Oh my god, fucking brilliant.
And when Jared, but that's why they stopped the call the devs, because basically it was just one person that put a different hat on each time. It looked like a face.
They got one.
We've run out of masks.
They had one hoodie at one point, which just got passed around the office. Every ATV had just one guy. One guy had the hoodie, and then the other guy didn't have the hoodie. You got like a new zip up one, and then like, you do Velcro. I think they can just tear it off and just swap it around with different people's names. I'm only joshing.
Anyway, we jest.
I love
We
it.
jest. We love the game, really.
We do. We'll be playing it at some point this week. When I finish playing a proper game that actually works, which I'm really enjoying. So what did I have on? Was there anything else? Sorry.
I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's anything super you want to talk about. Otherwise, we can leave some of that till next time. And
I think the main thing for me was like I had the Dark Laws thing where we showed the pips. So if you don't mind, I would like to show the pips. So we did me and Dark Law we did the aim assist thing because like I said I wanted to really test it and kind of come up with like a view. And so that was him shooting, and you can see the hit registration mark there, like way off the circle pip. So it's within obviously the aim assist, the big circle around it. And he's fighting a buck, and because I saw him fighting an NPC buck, and it was interesting to see where he was actually getting the hit registration marker. So I was like, okay, well, let me fly in, jump in. I'll jump in the same ship as the AI, and I will see how much harder it is to hit me versus hitting obviously an NPC. And obviously it was a little bit harder. I wasn't super going like trying to be super evasive because one, I don't know how to, and I didn't have my pedal set up. But two, I just wanted to get the video footage of where the actual hit markers were on me as an NPC. But if you go to the second one down, the picture underneath, this will kind of really, because I slowed all the video down and I watched many hit markers. That dark red, but then you see the second red, the slightly one with the yellow dotted around it. If you basically get the pip, if you basically imagine that is your new size pip, effectively, you just have to have that kind of lined up over the marker, and it will kind of like that's your hit area basically, which is obviously substantially larger, and that will register a hit. Now it's not very accurate. That's the only thing I would say is you don't necessarily always going to be knowing where you're hitting, but at least now you're hitting. And it was really interesting because this is where we had like a disagreement. Like I was like, why do you have to have aim assist? Why can't you get gimbals to work? I don't understand why, gimbals effectively are aim assist. That's what they were there for. That's where I think we fundamentally disagree. But it was very clear, like when I watched the video back, that without this, he couldn't hit me for shit in his big ship. Couldn't hit me for shit. I was much more nimble than him. He was obviously with the new flight model, his ship was far slower at turning than it used to be.
you mean in his cruiser?
In his cruiser luxury ship, yeah, he was unable to.
And that heavy fighter, cruiser and shit.
Super lightweight, interesting fighting ship. So without the aim assist, like Dark Lord, it wouldn't, and he admitted it he's like, he wouldn't have been able to hit me at all. So it was really interesting. So obviously this aim assist heavily is there really for these bigger ships that really don't have the movement. And then we're like, I think it was saying, a few people were saying in chat that potentially like that maybe is the only place that they should exist, maybe is in some of the bigger ships, and they shouldn't really be on any of the smaller ships because you don't realistically should need it for the smaller ships.
Right.
You should be nimble enough to be able to get on target anyway, versus the big ships. And I was like, and then so all my hatred, I was like, okay, if I have to have it, I can kind of see why now you're saying why that would be. You know what I mean? I understood it a bit better. I was like, because I actually experienced it. I still don't like it. I still think they should just fix ESP. I still think they should fix so many of the bugs first before they implemented aim assist. But if I had to, I can understand it a little bit better.
I still don't like it anymore.
I still don't like it. I mean, I'm not going back on that. I still want it out. I don't want it.
Well,
in
is that true what
Sure.
Monkey says? Not all ships have assist, though.
If you've got gimbal, it is, yeah.
Yeah, they've got gimbals.
If you've got gimbal, that's the whole point. It's a gimbal. It's not
Oh, right.
assist
Yeah,
or
yeah,
normal
no, sorry.
fixed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just gimbaled.
So that was an interesting one, and it was fun to do, and I appreciate him. Thank you for letting me do that, and it was fun, and I look forward to trying out some other things. And like, a main thing for me is I needed to take out a dogfighter and a dogfighter and do the same type of experiment with a couple different ships. I only did it with one ship, so I can't really go across the board with this, but it was just interesting to do it with obviously that type of ship versus a smaller ship and a direct comparison between an NPC fight and a human fight. And it was very interesting. It was very interesting to do, and I'll do more of that. We'll go past the clickbait one. Oh yeah, the free flight thing. Yet again, like why don't they give us the calendar for free flights? I just don't understand. They can put everything else on a calendar roadmap.
I know, especially since I think they seem to stick to it because they've already got a plan of when they want the free flight. They just don't seem to want to prepare us for it. I don't know if it's just so that they can cancel it if they want to and choose not to have it, I presume.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've already talked about the moons and everything being the same. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that next week. Well, here's a question for anybody in chat and anyone on YouTube watching. Okay, Chris Roberts has on many interviews has said that he sold his company when making Freelancer to Microsoft, but yet it is well stated and widely mentioned by many people, haters and all the rest of it, that he was fired. What's true?
I don't know. You'd have to find official.
Is it
documents.
a case of one of those ones where it's like you're pushed to the door in the sense of you'll be fired if you don't sell us this company type of scenario? Do you know what I mean? Like you've been pushed to the point where, I was curious, like, because many people say,
I mean, if it's just the haters that are saying he's sacked, then it's probably not true. He's probably just sold it.
Exactly.
It could well have been more close to being kind of forced to sell it. If we need CR on stream to ask the questions. That's it. Let's get him on there. Let's plug in with the hard questions.
Yeah, as I remember, Microsoft bought out his interest, his stake. You mean, or when he refused to rush it, he had shares in Digital Anvil, and they bought him out as he sold it. Okay. So that's when I'm like kind of curious. It's kind of one of those ones where it's like officially Chris's line is, and he'll always be able to defend it as like I sold it and all the rest, so he could save face type of scenario. But in truth, if you were to look at it from the other's perspective, you could argue that he was basically fired and pushed out because they wanted to finish the game type of scenario. That's kind of like what I'm kind of curious about, because I was like just curious, what's the actual truth? Resources. No, that's next week. No.
Well, I mean, if it's his game and he wanted it, like, why would he sell it? It's because he's probably more likely kind of had to. So. And again, our opinion, because we don't actually have.
Oh no,
real reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious. What the kind of your guys' kind of take on it in chat was, and YouTube and everyone else. And if you've got links and stuff, please feel free to link them and send them to me, because I'll be curious to do the research on it. Just not for any reason, just other than it's just interesting. I don't know much about Chris and Freelancer and stuff. It's kind of, I never played it. Last one, we spoke last week about Minority Report and the cars and the taxi system. Like what I said last week was I really wanted like a minority car situation where when I get out of my hub, there's a vehicle or transport thing right next to my hub that can take me to any location if I choose to. So I have the ability to either walk to a location, maybe meander, do some shopping, or the rest of it. But I also have a public transport system that will immediately take me instantly on a trip to wherever, and I could maybe buy stuff or do stuff on the way I talk to the the ship. So this is for, if anyone's ever seen Minority Report, this is it. You basically have a car or vehicle that's on your building, and then it takes you down, and would take you to the location. And now for me, this just feels like this is what
I love how everything's like a track. All the buildings, all underneath your door, everything's like a track that then merges on. Really nicely done.
And if he talks about films and he uses inspiration from films and all the rest of it, I was like, this for me is like a huge one. Like the guys, when Steven Spielberg, made this film, he got some of the brightest and smartest people of the time, future thinking, to get together and talk about and come up with brainstorming what the future might be. And they envisioned this, and they envisioned the hand thing with the touch screen, everything, which we've all got touch screens now. And they envisioned all the what was the other thing that they envisioned? Oh, the adverts, personalized adverts that can analyze yourself, and then they like suddenly say change the adverts to you, which is kind of coming, I can assure you. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of show that video because of last week, basically, because I thought it was pretty cool. So
fair enough,
and that's it.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, and then the skull helmet stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks sweet.
The skull helmet is pretty cool. And if anyone knows, I think, oh god,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see some of those and what other alternative hologram type things you could have. I've already seen someone Photoshop fish into it. Makes sense.
teddy bears and all sorts of strange things.
A brain. Why don't I just make it into a floating brain? It looks like a brain in a tank.
Oh, that'd be like Mars Attack, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Star Kitten variant, yeah.
There's an 3D artist out there. I think he's called I can't remember, I butcher his name. Vital something or other. Now he did he's an amazing 3D artist, one of my favorites, and he designs. He did Lockdown from Transformers. Let's see if I can dig out his design blog. Hang on, you carry on.
Time, because it's a carry on. We got nothing else to carry on. This is like the last thing.
Oh, this is the last thing. Oh, okay.
Take your time.
It's okay. Nobody's waiting. It's all good.
Oh God, this is not going to go down well. Okay, so it's called Vitalia Bulgarov, and he's just super talented. I will see if I can .com. Let me see if I can get some of his.
It's all good.
Sorry. Oh, you got any of his drawings? No. Why do these people never have anything sweet?
It's so easy to find. Look into the darkness, and you will see what you are looking for.
Just ignore me and carry on.
Okay. So
I'll bring out some pictures.
if anybody has any questions on the YouTube channel, if you're watching it on YouTube, please leave comments in the comments below, and we'll try and get onto them. Next podcast should be next Monday. I don't think we covered kind of what was on our one last time. Let me just have a very quick look, but I think we did. Yeah, we did. So there's no more questions on there. So we are just literally waiting for it. It's fine. It's all good.
That's how you spell his name, by the way.
Vitali
Volgorov.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's not that easy to pronounce for me, but that's how you spell his name. So Google that, and he does. He's done some really kind of interesting kind of skull stuff. So futuristic 3D art. He does a lot of skull shit, which is just reminded me of.
No, so someone likes to do 3D future skulls.
Yeah. He's done some pretty cool stuff, pretty rad stuff.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, he's got some really cool, really cool skull stuff. So yeah, when I saw the skull thing, I was like, dude. So yeah, he's super talented, super talented dude. Right.
Excellent. So I think we'll we'll call it a night there, folks. As always, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for the hosts, the raids, the subs, and everything else. Always appreciated. It's a pleasure having you all here and joining in chat as always. It gives us more topics to talk about, and it's as we like to say, it's good to engage in chat and hear your opinions as well as our opinions. Because, like we said, when we do talk and the comments we have on YouTube, it's like, yes, we do give our opinions, but we do like to be, take what you have to say into account and like get you changing our minds as well, because we aren't set in the way we like to think. We are here to broaden our horizons and be taught how wrong we really are most of the time. Because Colin, we are wrong.
You try.
Quite often.
You can try. I enjoy people when they attempt.
Try and do that. It's great. It's in like a lovely after joust is the way to describe it. It's
An after joust.
Yeah, it's good. I genuinely enjoy it. And like Miss says, I'm very open minded. I do try to be very open minded as much as possible. So if you can come up with a reasonable argument for why certain things are good, then I take it all on board. And it's not the first time I've changed my mind on things. Yeah.
Except for aim assist. No one's changing my mind on that shit.
I understand more why some people like it, like I said, but I definitely
People that can't shoot, yeah. Obviously. If you're not
Yeah,
very
obviously.
good, you're gonna like it. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
Anyway, before we cause just more arguments, I don't think I have an outro screen set up. Oh bollocks. We'll just put the starting soon stream. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We very much appreciate it. Bok, thanks for being on once again. He's that side.
My pleasure.
We're doing
Madness.
D&D. We're doing D&D on Friday again.
Doing D&D on Friday. We're doing
Painting tomorrow, maybe.
possibly painting tomorrow morning
I've
as
got-
well. So if anyone's
I've got a lot of
interested
work to catch
in
up
that sort of thing, this is what we do. The Asylum's getting creative. So we're doing some D&D painting, D&D gaming, and then podcast again on the following Monday. So yeah, we're trying to open up a little bit. Feel free to drop by, come and say hello, chat. If you have any questions about the other stuff we do, we're open to those. Otherwise, thank you guys. And if you're here just for the podcast, we'll see you next Monday. Goodbye.
Monday.
Bye.